Mexico doing Mexico things, right? Uh, I'm curious from listeners. You got some people in the chat here I haven't seen before, and yourself. The natural inclination is to say clean house, get Aguirre back in there. However, I would argue that we would kind of put the same stench of his presence back on the team. He's been with the team, what was it, like 2, 3 times already?
Yep.
Um, do we want to bring in someone like that? Do we think he's going to stabilize things? Um, can't get worse, right? Um, I guess on the bright side, he did not bring Ochoa and some of these legacy guys like Henry Martin, Ochoa. We were talking about that previously. Like at some point, you do need to clean house and give someone else a chance. And these are growing pains. And Mexico's they're in a tough spot, and they're going to be bad for a while. It's my reckoning against Brazil. Luckily for them, they historically do pretty well against them. So maybe it won't. Maybe it'll be like 2-0 instead of 4-0. But yeah, I'm just curious to see what like your sentiment is and what people are saying. Because I'm seeing on Twitter people are like calling in for Aguirre and uh, fucking their tios, everybody. They want him to come in, but like, can it get worse though? I mean, honestly, who's gonna come in and save? Mexico has a talent problem. Like we don't
Facts.
coach the coach thing is like obviously that is a missing piece. But like you see what Bielsa can do for a country like Uruguay, who is like a well developed like kind of talent system. He's like it's like you take a turd and you try to shine it. It's not gonna work. It's still turd, right? Um, where Uruguay, they have some talent. They have some maybe some youngins that can benefit from the tutoring of a guy like Bielsa. Mexico doesn't have that. We have a talent problem. So yeah, I'm just curious to see what you guys think.
Absolutely, Tomas. Thanks for joining us. Nice to hear from you again. El Rifado, let's hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts.
Hey everyone, long time lurker, first time speaker, big fan of the
Hey,
show.
welcome, man. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. And I just want to say, I totally agree with Thomas, but I think more so tonight, the difference was a sort of naive approach, like to the tactics of the game. Like we left a lot of space to be exploited by the Uruguayan attack, and the left of the defense, you know, basically Artiaga as well as Orozco, El Chiquete, they were left out to dry, and like it was apparent from the start that this was like a weak area, and Jimmy was unwilling or unable to like change anything to like reprimand that. So like tonight, I think is more so on Jimmy. You know, the Lambert Jimmy is on fire, and
Not in a good way.
yeah, like because it crashed, and you know, more so like than the talent tonight. I think the issue was the tactics. They were all wrong, and this is like a you know like a reoccurring theme with Jimmy, because like against the U.S. he tried to cede possession of the ball and play as a counterattack, you know, counterattacking team, and it didn't work. And now he's trying to play as the protagonist with a lot of ball possession, and it also doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we see Jimmy isn't good at anything, and he has a track record of like almost nothing. You know, he got the bronze with Mexico, but
Yep.
you know, really, he's failed. He's fallen on his face a lot, and you know, I think it's too late to fire him. You know, 2 weeks before the tournament starts, but I do think that we need to move on from the Lambert Jimmy, unfortunately.
It's never too late in the circus that is the Mexican national team. I would not be surprised, depending on the results against Brazil. I mean, we got 4 against Uruguay. You see what Brazil has. They have so much talent now. Granted, they aren't doing so well in qualifiers, but let's throw this out there. Let's say we have another embarrassing performance on Saturday against Brazil. I would not be surprised if they break the glass for the third time that says break in case of emergency, and it's Javier Aguirre's name there with his phone number. In fact, I'm sure they're already calling him over just to like get everything ready for Saturdays. I mean, because I don't think Mexico will do better. They might do worse than they did today. Who knows what happens on Saturday? But I will say, if it gets to the Chile levels of embarrassment, there is no way he will continue and will be allowed to coach Copa America, even with 2 weeks to go to the tournament. I think an embarrassment on Saturday and the fans turning and booing, it might even affect ticket sales. I don't know if the game's already sold out on Saturday, but it will impact ticket sales for Copa America if Mexico doesn't get their shit together. And I think that is enough for the FMF and whatever the front office to say, hey, you know what, Jimmy, we're gonna bring in Aguirre to to put out this fire. You have been relieved of your duties, because let's remind everybody, he was not their first choice. When they got rid of Diego Coca, he came in as kind of like the interim. And I think after much plea from the players and the media, and hey, we're tired of foreigners, we want a Mexican coach, everybody was like, you know what, give Jimmy a chance. And now everyone's starting to regret that decision at the first, the first moment of failure. But there are going to be growing pains. Let's just call it what it is. It's a generational change where a lot of players are leaving the national team. Ochoa, obviously, one. Gallardo, another one. I think the one that surprised everybody was Irving Lozano. He stepped away from the national team, and it seems like it's all pretty much secured that he will be a designated player for the expansion team in San Diego for the MLS. So it's the beginning of his retirement as well. And the problem is we just don't have players that are ready to take these positions. I think it's why Ochoa has been the goalkeeper for so long. It's like we really haven't had a successor yet. And it sucks to see Tala Rangel have the game that he had. He's been such a great, solid goalkeeper for Chivas. But it was very obvious today that he is just too green for the national team. He was nervous, and he's definitely not the answer to Memo Ochoa. It's probably going to be Malagon.
%, agree. Malagon is in better form, but I wouldn't square any of the blame on Rangel, because he was left out to dry by the defense. El Perrito Guzman, I think that's what his name is, and El Chiquete. They were no good tonight. They were slow to react. And Edson, for all his quality at West Ham,
Yep.
he was reading the game like I think it was for Pelestri's goal. He like left the center to chase the ball down, and he just would have been like the fourth guy closing in, and so he left his mark for that Pelestri goal. And so like I wouldn't say any of the goals are like on him tonight, but the fans are unforgiving. They were booing him. You saw Nunez comfort him after his second goal, the third goal for Uruguay, because the whole crowd had turned against this debut. It's like a nightmare debut, really. But I don't think he's got the mental fortitude to take too much of that. And but I do agree with you that, like, if there's one thing that we can be sure of at the FMF, it's that they for sure care about the money. And if you
Yep.
start messing with the money, they're gonna react. And then, like, the media, like Picante and TUDN, they've all been saying that Jimmy is safe regardless of the results. But we all know that the FMF is capable of anything, especially when you're messing with the money.
Yeah, absolutely. Was it the what was that tournament was earlier? Was it Nations League? And was it Mexico failed to get to the final or something? Like it was bad. And I remember seeing the attendance for the I forgot. I don't know if it was Nations League or something else, but I remember that Mexico didn't make the final, and like they had still had to play a third place match, and the attendance was horrible, like atrocious. Because I think the final was in Las Vegas, and you know that is the one thing that will get the FMF to react. It's ticket sales. If the team is playing so bad that it affects attendance, you best believe changes will be made, and that might be the case. Again, depending on how bad things go against Brazil, it's also going to be at a college stadium randomly in over by Houston, and I think they can fit like over 100,000 people. So I mean, we might be witnessing a very like bad time for Mexico on Saturday. And let's be honest, their opponents in the group stage aren't that attractive. They have Ecuador, Venezuela, and Jamaica, right? These guys aren't going to be like selling seats. So if Mexico's playing atrociously and they get rid of their coach, I think we might see a terrible attendance for Copa America, and it's just like a downward spiral for the national team. But it's, guys, this is nothing new. This is a long time coming. We didn't qualify for the Olympics. We obviously didn't get past the group stage in the World Cup. This is a long time coming, so this shouldn't be a surprise to no one.
Isn't that the argument, though, maybe, that Mexico needs to hit rock bottom, fuck with the vibes, right? You fuck up the American viewer ticket sales. Now, like, you're kind of forced to put up a good product. Because let's be honest, like teams like Uruguay, these small ass countries that do well, they're not exactly burning it up on the TV ratings. Um, so I always wonder, like, is that what Mexico needs to go through? Do they need to go through like a complete? The fan base needs to do a complete abandonment of them, but I just don't see that happening ever. FMS does a good job of marketing and throwing a memocho on a bolsita de flaming hot chips, and he's like a national icon. So yeah, it's all about the dollars and cents, right? That's kind of what drives um, the FMF. So
There needs to be a case study made on Uruguay because they are a population of just 3 million people. Meanwhile, Mexico has over 129 million people. Like, we need a case study. Look at Croatia too, man. They're a small country, produce so much talent. It's like, bro, how can we not find in 129 million people we cannot find talent for the national team? You're telling me the best we can do is these guys? There's got to be some gems out there that we're not looking for. And the person that would be great for this project, ironically, is on the other bench, Marcelo Bielsa, who came in, revolutionized Liga MX back in the 90s with Atlas and discovered a lot of gems, and had the opportunity to join our forces again. And again, they decided to go in a different direction with Diego Coca, and obviously that was a failure on launch. Looks like we have some more speakers wanting to get in here. By all means, guys, request to speak. We have John Soto joining us. Welcome to Cantina. Thanks for requesting to speak. How are you handling this 4-0 defeat?
Um, is it a shocker? No, but I mean, we all pretty much know what's going on here. I mean, like everyone's mentioned, you know, this was just a long time coming. It starts from the top, and like what you were talking about earlier about how a country like Uruguay or Croatia with a population less than Mexico is producing talent. I mean, it's a buddy thing. It's who you know. It's who they let you come up. It's to let you come up. It's
Mm-hmm.
I mean, even the players have said it. When they do the camps, all the European players sit with the teams the players that play in Europe. They sit with each other, and the players that play at Liga MX sit at another table. Stuff like that. But pretty much, it's like it's who you know. it's all buddy stuff out up there. But it also starts from the top because it's whoever Televisa wants. In my opinion,
Yeah, and thanks for joining us, John. We definitely encourage you to come back. We like to podcast every time there's a catastrophe every week in Liga MX. But I think with the whole Televisa thing, they don't have their guys right now. They don't have Memo. They don't have Henry Martin. And this was a pro Chivas lineup to start the game, and having to eat crow here because I'm a Chivas fan, and like these guys are just not up to scruff. Like Nene showed today that he's not national team caliber player. Rangel is too green.
then it was a ghost.
Yeah, and Rangel couldn't. He soaked up the pressure. It was too much for him on his debut. It's sad to see because he is a talented player. But it seems like for now it's going to be Malagon. I think
Yeah, agreed on that. I mean, Malagon. I mean, it was Rangel, Chiquete, Beltran. Who else? And
Piojo.
Piojo, right? And yeah, you're right. I mean, it does suck. I'm also a Chivas fan, and I mean, it is. They weren't good, especially Rangel. I mean, him because he's really good. It's his first game on the big stage for him, and he'll be all right. It's just a friendly.
Yeah, I think the fans
Of
were being
course,
a little cruel
the
with
the
him.
Mexican media is going to tear him to shreds. Social media as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, it'll be all right. Nothing he can't handle. I mean, for me, it's part of, it's, hey, when you're part of the selección, that's just how it is, You got to take it for what it is. I think he'll be all right.
Yeah.
But I guess what I would ask everybody is who, everyone says, Jimmy was never supposed to be the coach, but we know he's just a placeholder, right? So you had to have a placeholder. That's just how it goes, right? Who would be the next guy? That's my thing, though. Who would it be, It has to be a Mexican. In my opinion, it has to be a Mexican. You have to have a Mexican. But if you don't, who would it be?
Well,
I can only think of two two managers to basically do it, and giving the circumstances, giving everything that's surrounding the team. I would give it to either Tuca or I'd give it to Piojo.
oh, I knew you were gonna say Piojo.
It's like, look, you can we can bring in Murillo, we can bring Bielsa, whoever, you throw any name in there. It's not going to be a magic wand, and it's not going to be you're not going to find instant success. So at this point, Tuca and Piojo, they're practical coaches. They may not be master tacticians or whatever and stuff like that, but they're practical. And at this right now, everything is going so wrong for the federation, for the national team, for Liga MX, that right now you just need to basically stay above water and be practical. I mean, it is what it is, and I personally see that those are really the only two viable options right now. In terms of being practical.
I don't want either one of those guys. I don't even want Aguirre back, dude, for a third time. Like, what's insanity doing the same thing over and over again, expecting the same different results? We're not going to get different results with these guys. Any Mexican coach.
No, I wouldn't want Aguirre either. Even though like one of the things, and he said it himself after the fact, because he was removed so long from the Mexican from the Mexican League when he went back for South Africa, he didn't recognize the league. He didn't recognize the players. And even though he's been back, he coached in Monterrey and stuff like that. You're right. I wouldn't want him back, although he's a good coach. But again, I'm looking for being practical right now. I'm not looking to reinvent the wheel and stuff like that. And I just for me, I think Piojo, and that's one of that's one of Piojo's and Tuca's virtues, is that they try to not they don't want to complicate the game, and I just, like I said, man, I don't blame Jimmy. He's got a little bit of the blame, but this goes so much more. This has so much more than Jimmy. This is institutional. This is basically from the ground roots, from the grassroots all the way to the league office over there in Toluca. I mean, these are major problems at the at the federation level, at the grassroots level, at the club level. It's just I feel bad for Jimmy. I really do because I mean I feel bad how like Vucetic got treated. A couple of years back, and I don't think it's fair for Jimmy. I mean, I have to give him a lot of respect because he's taken this this job knowing that he's in the hot seat.
It was dead on arrival. I mean,
Yeah, I
they
mean,
gave him a Lamborghini that was like in the barn and hadn't been done regular maintenance on. He's like, "Here you go, man. This is what you have to use."
yeah, yeah. I mean, it is. And going back, another issue that you talk about you spoke about regarding Uruguay and like how they have a population of 3 million and stuff like that. I mean, population really doesn't have much to do with this. I mean, if you can think of the teacher student ratio, it's always better to have a smaller teacher student ratio, and it's the same thing with managers. I mean, Montevideo has what 14, 15 professional clubs in the greater metropolitan area, so they have a sporting culture, and they have really good coaching at the youth level. Um, One of the things I think that Mexico needs to do it needs to make coaching lucrative at the youth level, like many of the other countries, like the Dutch, like Uruguay and stuff like that. That the youth coaches, they're very well respected. They make pretty good money. All things considering. Um, I just don't think that Mexico has that. Even though they're trying with with the NDEET and the FMF coaching academy and stuff like that, we're still a long ways away from having that sort of sporting culture and the youth level coaching than many of the
Hey,
South
Ron,
American
Ron,
clubs.
I have a question. Where in the coaching handbook in Uruguay does it say that in order for a player to get minutes, they have to give up their sister to the coach? Because that's what that's what Ciboldi was doing at Tigres, and that's why he's no longer the coach of
Is
Tigres.
that rumorville or is there truth to it?
Ah, come on, bro. It's all just mamadas on Mexican
I mean,
media.
but here's the thing. Siboldi has left. What is it now? This is the third time he's left a team in questionable or not so. I mean, what he left? What was it? He left Santos after getting into a fist fight with one of the players, right, or something like that.
I'm not sure, but
Siboldi.
I know he's had like clean
Yeah,
breaks from his coaching teams that he's been at.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's
So this is the third time he's left under questionable, circumstances. But but going back to Uruguay, I mean, like I said, they produce world class players because, again, I mean, they have a long, rich sporting culture. If you think about it, they were the first World Cup champions. I mean, they were also, they won the Olympics. We're talking, 100 years ago. a
yeah,
hundred years ago. I mean, 100. I mean, they were
that's
winning. They
crazy.
were winning world championships. They were winning world championships 100 years ago, when Mexico was still quote unquote amateur. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Ron, Ron,
Yeah.
is Uruguay wanting to add their Olympic gold to
I,
their
I
World
know
Cup
where you're going with
titles?
this. I know where you're going with this.
It was before the World Cup, so they want those to count as World Cups.
That sounds
Is
like
that
some
like
shit.
America
That
wanting to
sounds like
use?
America. That sounds like an America tactic right there. To answer John's
I
question
will.
real quick before I let you go, Thomas. Uh, as far as who would you want as the national team coach, it's obvious. It's obvious you want the guy who's doing an amazing job at Pachuca, using youth to get there. It's Almada for me, but Thomas, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say. I think actually, you know what? Now that he mentions it, I kind of, I don't say I love it, but I think a guy like Tuca might be the right stopgap kind of guy. He kind of checks some of those boxes where he's familiar with the Mexican player. He fits the media need, right? He'll give you those sound bites, right? The fans will love his ESPN sound bites when he goes off on a reporter. Uh, and he'll kind of just act as like the stopgap while Mexico tries to get their shit together. The other dark horse, I don't know. I used to be high on this guy. I don't know where he's at these days, but where is Caixinha at these days?
That is a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah, that guy. But last thing too on uh, football culture in Mexico. Uh, why the hell is there not more like soccer clubs or football clubs in Mexico City? I don't really follow Liga MX a lot, but how many clubs are there in Mexico City for a fucking city the size of it?
I know, right?
Yeah, and
Well,
it's like
here's the thing. Technically, there are no more clubs. They're all franchises companies. So
right,
Atlas was the last. Atlas was the last club in the traditional sense, and they are now a for profit company, right? You do have Pumas that technically is still a non-profit, but they're structured a little differently because of how they're organized. But in terms of being a club, there are no more clubs anymore in Mexico. I mean, I don't know. Like for example, I follow a lot of the a couple of the Argentina Twitter accounts like Ole and stuff like that. I mean, I was reading some other articles, and like for example, was it Huracan? They just had a major elections at their clubs, and this is where people go in there, like socios, members, and they basically raise their hands, like, you know what, I want to be the president of this club, and it's like a political campaign. They go there, they say, hey, well, we need to improve this and this and this and this. I can promise this and this and this and this, and 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 that for me, I think that's one of the reasons why we stopped seeing that. We stopped having that culture in Mexico, as where that still exists in Uruguay, that still exists in some parts of Brazil, that still exists in Argentina, where it's not just about the money. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they have to make money because they have to survive. But the thing is, when you're basically a club, the operation is paramount, and the operation is producing good players, so you have a good product on the field. It's for in terms of in Mexico, as long as they still keep having people, as long as they're still making money, they don't really care what's on the field, in terms of the product. And it's unfortunate, and like what Jaime basically said a little bit ago, that when the Mexican league, will only act when the fan starts to revolt, like they did, for that one game. Personally, I think that the Mexican fans, I think they need to start doing this and stop accepting, you know, bullshit tournaments where
Oh, I don't know if it's.
because
Oh, well,
technically these guys are businessmen, and they're making money hand over fist. So I mean, they are doing their job, but in terms of what's on the field, man, we've been in the downward spiral now, going on 6 years.
yeah, I saw a poll during the game that really bummed me out. It was, like, how far do you expect the Mexican national team to get in Copa America? And all the responses were like semifinal.
I'll add to what you were saying, just going back to clubs. I think the league, to me, this was a mistake, but personal, not money wise. When the league decided to expand, so they sent Atlante out, they sent Necaxa out, and I think that, that kind of contributed to why there's no more. Where there should be more teams, not just the FA, even Guadalajara, because they had Oro and Leones Negros and Tecos, and pretty sure I'm missing one. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well, I was just saying how during the game they had a poll.
yeah. And I for some reason, I think the league just thought it was best if they were more spread out, the whole league, the clubs. Um, and I would have preferred it like that because the way it was, because more rivalries, more matches were crosstown rivals. The only thing lacking was stadium.
Sorry about that. Not sure what happened. My app just froze in the middle of a conversation. Hopefully, we can get the gang back. But wanted to finish my thought there with. Not sure what happened, but wanted to finish my thought there around a poll that they were broadcasting during the game, and it was how far do you think the national team will go in this Copa America? And all the fans were responding, "Oh, I hope they make it to semifinals. I hope they make it to semifinals."
Did you rage quit, Jaime?
No, the app just like froze, man. I like could hear you guys talk, and then it just closed. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe there was just too much ardido in the chat. But it's crazy how our expectations of this team have lowered so dramatically. I remember growing up and watching Mexico in Copa America, and the expectation was that they played as a protagonist and that they would be contenders for the title, and they got very close. I mean, I only got to see them in a final once, and that was in 2001 against Colombia in a rigged ass final. But I mean, that's the Mexico that I knew and loved, and expected them to go out
That,
and be the protagonist.
that's what I got accustomed to. 93 finalist, 95 quarterfinalist, 97, 98 semifinalist, and we were losing to teams like Brazil and Argentina. And I mean that's what I got accustomed to. And then obviously like you said, the one in 2001 where they also reached the finals. And like example, like in like for example in 2004, that was Peru. They lost 4-0 to Brazil.
Yep.
2007 they got third place
Third
with
place.
with Ugo.
Hmm.
But I mean that's like I got so accustomed to that. We got at least my generation. I mean that was the minimum. At least
Yeah.
you have to make it to semifinalists because then you can say, "Yep, we're there with Brazil. We're there with Argentina. We're there with Uruguay." And now we're there to basically watch, just observe players. And like
Yeah.
and this is the thing when I mean, think about this. When we were facing those Brazils in the '90s, we're talking about a Brazil that went to three consecutive World Cup finals in '94, '98, and 2002. So I mean, we got spoiled, and we were facing top players. We were facing the Rivaldos, the Ronaldos, the we were facing those.
Ronaldinho's. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Romario,
and
Romario.
and and
Cafu.
and that yeah
Edmundo.
and then and now it's like wow. I
Now it's
mean,
like, hey, let's take some selfies. Let's go to the game. Let's get some beers. Let's buy the ugliest jersey ever. And it's all vibes now. And let's hear Celito Lindo for the millionth time.
so for me, I don't know. Like I said, and I know that I know that most people don't agree with me on this, but I'm still not sold on the promise that having more players in Europe was going to be that
Oh,
final
we
threshold.
completely agree, Ron.
You're one of those, but most of the people when I talk to, they think I'm just some idiot
Oh,
because oh no, they got to be playing in Chelsea, they got to be playing in Man City, they got to be
yeah.
playing there. And
Well,
I get it. If you're able to get to those clubs, go for it. But if you're not, like I said, I'd rather you be facing Colo Colo. I'd rather be facing River Plate, Boca Juniors, Corinthians and stuff like that. I'd rather be playing those teams, every other week in Copa Libertadores, Copa
yeah.
Sudamericana,
I'm
because
yeah.
Well,
honestly, what can you really expect from our players? They're not. They're international, matchups. What Campeones Cup, League Cup, Conca Champions? I
Yeah.
mean, what do you really expect from these
wait,
guys?
Ron. I think you went far off.
Where
No,
would Mexico be at in CONMEBOL? Would they be hanging out with like Ecuador, Bolivia,
Well,
duking it out for that,
they're-
or do you think they would be? Because I think they would be lurking at the bottom. I think that that's one flaw
I think
that no, dude,
competition
no,
breeds
trust me.
competition, though.
yes,
Yeah,
And
yes,
then
no,
yes.
they'll
dude,
step
trust
up.
me.
They'll step
Like
up.
the FIFA rankings that Mexico is always like 13. How the fuck is that possible, dude? This
No,
team is
hey,
not like 13th best in the
because
world.
they
Because
play a
no,
lot. Because they play a lot.
it's
They
it's
well,
play
it's
a lot of friendlies and they qualify to
so
pretty much every
so
World Cup.
so here's the thing. Here's the thing. Mexico proved for basically almost 40 years that they were top 16 team in the world for 40 years. Okay, and then for basically a good almost 20 years, we were top three, top four in the Americas. So now, to answer your question, where would Mexico be right now? Yes, I do agree with you that right now we would be with Venezuela and Ecuador and stuff like that because we've hit rock bottom. We've hit rock bottom because of because of the shenanigans that the league and the federation have done in the past 8 years. Because we left what is it? For a while we left Copa America, but we left we left what is it? Copa Libertadores in 2015. So we haven't exposed our players to top competition, at least in a daily routine. I mean, if you're going to depend on Europe to develop your players, I'm sorry, every other nation in Africa, every other nation in the Caribbean, every other nation, has tried that of basically, hey, well, let's just send them to Europe. They'll get better over there.
Well,
Y'all are
one quick
disrespecting
thing.
Venezuela and Ecuador because they are 4th and 5th in qualifiers, and they are above Brazil, who are in 6th.
I know, but
And we
here's the
got
thing.
them in the group stage. We're not even gonna get out of the group stage of Copa America.
No, look, hey, good for them, but hey, it's Haley's Comet with those type of teams. Okay, it's once in a blue moon. They may, they'll do well, but I mean, historically and consistently, they're not there yet. Okay, now
Yeah, well, I just wanted to real quick
if
on the whole
Mexico,
development stuff because you were talking about development, and I
yeah,
think that's the big misconception as well, because you kind of feel like they're buying players to develop when for the most part they're just buying players to make their team stronger. They're not exactly trying to like like polish some young talent. Some small clubs do that, like the smaller clubs. Um, but I think that's been a big misconception, and we have enough proof where we've seen many players that left at a young age. Some of them came back and couldn't even win a spot in the first division Liga MX team. A lot
yeah,
of them,
but
to be exact, a lot, like a big amount of them have gone and been out for 3-4 years, and they don't come back as better players.
Yeah, I think
I,
of
I,
Pablo Barrera, right? That's one of them.
I,
Yeah,
well, here's another thing though, and perhaps it is psychological, but many Mexican players that go to Europe and come back because there's that stigma that you failed and you're a failure. When they come back to Liga MX, it's like it's like they're no longer the alpha guy. Yeah, they're no longer the alpha, player. They're the fucking beta guy. Because like you said, Barrera, and there's all these players that sometimes they come back. They don't come back with with that all that extra knowledge. They come back like it's like, for example, with Diego Lainez. Remember how they were shitting on him, especially right after winning a final.
yeah,
Remember, it's stuff like that. It's like there's that stigma. It's like, oh, you came back after what,
yeah.
a year, 2 years? Oh wow, you're a failure. What a fuck up,
Hmm.
But the thing is, right now, to answer our viewers' question about where would Mexico be right now, I wholeheartedly agree with you. Mexico would be pecking at the bottom, but like I've always said, competition breeds competition. So if we were back to playing, you know, uh, every year, yearly, playing the Copa Sudamericana, playing the Copa Libertadores, playing the Copa America, um, we would be back at least where we were before in the top three, top four, and you also have to remember that when America or when Mexico and the Federation were basically knocking on the door to enter the CONMEBOL events, it was actually like the Uruguays, the Colombias, the Ecuadors, the Perus that didn't want us. Brazil and Argentina, they didn't care because they knew that, you know what, that Mexico was going to go in there and was going to push their shit in, and they did. They didn't fucking want Mexico because we were basically forcing them to get the scraps, and it wasn't actually until the corporate sponsor says, fuck you guys, we want the Mexican club, we want the Mexican market, we want the Mexican fan, and they fucking, it's like, oh well, okay.
Money
Because I mean,
talks. Money talks.
exactly. Think about it. Like I told you. I mean, Mexico. The Liga MX participated first in '98. Okay. By 2000, America had already reached the semifinals. Cruz Azul reached the finals in 2001.
Yeah.
America reached the semifinals in 2002. So then we were starting to see our Mexican Liga MX clubs consistently even making the semifinals in Copa Libertadores. The 3 years that we participated in Copa Sudamericana, we were finalists in every single edition, winning one where Pachuca beat Colo Colo, and Boca, Pumas lost to Boca, and
It's always
America.
it's always Pumas, huh? Fucking Pumas.
No, America fucked it up, dude, against Arsenal de Sarandí. Dude, I was livid. But like I said, I think that right now, yeah, we would basically be, the what is it? We would be the fluffers on the porno set,
I asked this in the chat earlier this week, because there's rumors of Chiquito Sanchez going to Sevilla. And I'm like, okay, he's 24, he's 5'6". You guys really think they're gonna he's gonna go to Sevilla and become like a Rakitic? No, dude.
Hey, here's I'm not knocking on Pachuca and I'm not knocking on other, right? But here's the thing: when I look at some of those young Pachuca players, and although they may be doing pretty well in Liga, for me, I don't see them making that jump into the international stage because I just like, for example, I think of them being like Chato Rodriguez, being like that Pumas player. What's his name? The one that had a really good game in the under 20s against Argentina. You remember Joel?
Pumas?
There's so many things with
Ignacio Gonzalez or Nacho Gonzalez. I think it was him. Right. So there was. I see these players in the youth and like I don't think that they have. I don't think they have the talent to really make it to the next level. Like for example, the player from Pachuca. I'm thinking like Jesus Christ, dude, that guy looks like he doesn't really take care of himself. I mean, he's a little overweight. And I'm like, dude, he's gonna get his shit. He's gonna get his shit tossed around.
The trainings.
Yeah, he's small, dude.
Sometimes also they do that. They'll link clubs just to elevate the price. So it's also like, hey, we're gonna sell him for this much because some Euro team wants him, and some Euro team wanting him gives all these Mexican fans a hard on. So if he goes to whatever club, it's like a major buy now. It's not like just a good player. So
Yeah, the rumor is he's wanted, obviously, in Monterrey, Tigres, and America. So what are the odds that this offer or rumor of him going to Sevilla? But it's like, dude, like how much more can he actually transcend in Sevilla? He's gonna be a bench warmer. It's like, let's be honest, dude. Like he's not gonna be a starter at Sevilla.
You don't want to take the risk with the World Cup around the corner. End up with no playing time.
Some of those Pachuca players really like the youth. They're really talented, like technically, but they really need to hit the gym, and they need to get a little stronger because when they start playing internationally, because I mean I've seen so many of that Liga MX players that man, wow, they're really talented, and then they get to the national team or when they start playing international games, it's like fuck.
They get bodied. They get bodied quick, dude.
Like there's one player that I thought was really gifted in Liga MX. There's actually, like for example, two of them. Like remember Victor Ruiz from Toluca?
Yeah.
I mean, the point blank
free kick specialist.
And then there was another one. What's his name that played for Pumas? Him and Cuauhtemoc Blanco always used to get into it. What is it? Israel Lopez. Yeah. Same thing. He was a great journeyman in Liga MX. But when you would put him on, when you'd put him in international stage, they just didn't have the physical aspect of the game,
What about the ceiling, like the comparison for the Mexican player? Like if we look at another country or like comparables, who do you think or what country do you think is like the ceiling? Like for example, I would say something like Chile is a good comparison culturally, even like physically.
Spain.
Yeah. What about like a guy like you look at guys like Vidal, Arturo Vidal or Alexis Sanchez. Isn't that comparable, more comparable to the Mexican player? Almost like the ceiling?
What Barcelona did, in 08, 10, 2010 and 2012 is there was a tendency before that to basically pick athletes really over footballers, right? I mean, there was a tendency of having like your forwards basically being 6 foot, 6'2", 6'3", and just basically being physical specimens, right? Well, what one of the things that I actually liked, about the Barcelona, although I'm not, I wasn't a fan of the team, but I respect, obviously I respected their philosophy and the way they played is that they 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 basically went back to the basics, the fundamentals of basically, learning how to play in space, anticipating the pass, anticipating, where your teammate was going to be and stuff like that. And I thought, Jesus, man, if Mexico could do that, we would be making the quarterfinals. Every World Cup, we would at least be making the quarterfinals every now and then, a semifinal. But I think that was a realistic goal for Mexico, because obviously, the same type of features, the same type of players. We weren't that tall, but technically, I will say this: that Mexico, for the long time, they were technically gifted players, but obviously there was, there's still the mental aspect of the game. There's the discipline, which, let's be honest, the Mexican player is not the most disciplined, player in the world. I know when,
Really?
like when Landon Donovan said that, it hurt a lot of people's feelings, but hey, it's true.
Did he really
You
say
know?
that?
Yeah.
Wow. Captain America, punk bitch. But he's not wrong.
No. It's, you know, you have to hear the truth, man. The Mexican player still is not a very, it's not a very, he's not very disciplined, you know?
Yeah, I
And
think there's a mindset difference, right? I think Mexican players, a lot of them are overachievers. Let's be honest, and I also think that they see this as a career path, but I don't think they're as obsessed with like being champions as other countries are.
do you remember, when Piojo Herrera caught a lot of shit, because he was basically advising his young players not to be stupid. Watch your money. Don't spend your money on stupid, things. And people just, got on him about that. I mean, you go to any other country, you go to the U.S., you go to Spain, you go to Italy. If a coach says that, he's going to be revered. Oh, I'm glad they have a coach. I'm glad that they have a coach that's basically willing to,
Yeah, looking out for the young
to help their
lads. Yep.
players. Exactly,
Sir
exactly.
Sir
But
Alex
no, in
Ferguson said that all
Mexico,
the time, dude.
yeah, yeah.
El
So
Rifado wants to talk. I'm gonna give him the mic and the platform. Welcome back.
Hey everyone, can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Wonderful, wonderful. I just wanted to piggyback off what Ron was saying about how the Barcelona, 2008 to 12, really like reinvented football and brought like a more technical aspect to the game. Nowadays, like there was a response to that, and it was like made famous by Jurgen Klopp and his pressing style, that Gegen press or whatever they call it. And that's kind of heralded a new phase in football that is a lot more physical, and our demise, as the demise of the Mexican player has coincided with this new style of football. Like they've been unable to adapt to the physicality that makes the top teams, and I don't see that being remedied anytime soon. And I think the FMF, they're just they're really short term in their thinking. I think their only solution is going to be, and Amadeistas are going to hate this. It's going to be just to naturalize more people, and just basically put a
Ooh.
band-aid on the crisis, and just naturalize like people like Berterame and whoever else is willing to represent the national team. And so I think that's the pickle we find ourselves in, and it's like it's a little bit more complicated than just our own like incompetence, because like the world's left us behind and we've been unable to adapt. But like it's complicated is what I'm trying to say. And I totally agree with Ron, and I just wanted to add that little tidbit, and I hope you guys agree.
Yeah, that's
you're
really good
right.
insights
You're
there.
right. You're right about that because right now, Mex just in general in Liga MX, when you're copying, it's like you want to copy the result, but you don't. But the process, you don't understand. You don't understand the process of, like, for example, tiki taka or whatever style. Pick any style. Like, for example, Arrigo Sacchi's style from the 80s in AC Milan or whatever. When you're copying, when you see another team and you see them having success, and you're like, man, I want to copy what they're doing. But the thing about it is, you're copying them because they have success with what they're doing. But the thing is, you don't have that conviction and that belief and that ideology of that's what this is what we're working on. These are our objectives. These are the goals. And you're just copying. You're copying
Yeah.
a basically
We have
style
no
because you think
identity.
because you're thinking that that's going to give you the results. And like, for example, right now you have teams in Liga MX. They don't know how to counterattack. They don't know how to press. They don't know how to play position or the possession oriented football. It's like they're all over the place. And for me, that's really frustrating because, like, for example, and the guys in the chat know this, because like, I fucking start ranting. Like, I'll see my team. It's like, boom, they're on they steal a ball, and they have the numerical advantage. They just need to go for the fucking kill. And what do? They get to the opposition side, and they stop, and they wait for their guys, and then but in that time, the defense, the opposition, they're able to get in line. They're able to basically organize. And I'm thinking, well, what's the point if you're going to counter and then just stop and then let the opposition get in place? And it's like, so there's like, I don't see the teams with a conviction. So, like, like, for example, and this is why I miss the era of like La Volpe and La Puente and Bucetich back in, like, they stuck to their guns.
They had a
They
style.
died by the sword. I mean, that was like, they wanted. I was like, you're going to convince like those type of coaches. They had to convince their teams this is how we're going to play, and everybody had to be on board.
Yep.
And I just don't see, these teams right now, my team included. I don't see them with a clear conviction of what they want to do.
We don't
And
have an identity. We don't have a theme. What is Mexican style? How would you describe Mexican football? Like, we don't really have a clear cut,
honestly,
formation.
the last coach that Mexico had, I agree with him or not, Osorio. You know what he wanted to do,
Yep.
whether you agreed with him or not. Okay, I get that. Same thing. You can agree with La Volpe, La Puente, Vucetich, Ojitos Mesa. You can like their style, you can hate their style, but at least you knew what the hell, how they wanted to play. And right now, I don't sense that with a lot of the coaches right now in Liga MX. I think a lot of them are basically glory hunters. They want it's not like they want to innovate. It's like they want to copy what others are doing that are being successful. And I'm sorry, you don't,
Yeah.
you can't really copy success. I mean, it's like, what's how are those teams successful? And that's what they need to be studying, not just X's and O's.
Yeah, you got to play to your strengths and know what kind of pool of players you have.
Yeah.
And it's like, it was so frustrating watching Tata coach the national team because he was trying to ask a screwdriver to be a hammer. Like, bro, we don't have hammers, bro. All we got is screwdrivers. Like, your system does not work. And he was unwilling to switch to a different style, different formation.
Do you watch? Do you listen to La Volpismo, the podcast
Of
on
course.
YouTube? It's like, he La Volpe talks about that. He talks
Yeah.
about that. I mean, what am I going to do if I don't have a Cafu? If I don't have a Roberto Carlos? Well, I'm going to have to depend on the system. So, whatever system you're going to use, you're going to have to convince the players, hey, let's play like this because we can do this, this, and this, and this. We can counter this team. When they try to do this, we can do this against them and stuff like that. And it's like, I don't sense that with the coaching nowadays. And I just think that they're basically trying to copy what's being done in Europe just for the sake of saying, hey, we're doing what they're doing over there in Europe.
Look at what Morocco did. It was ugly. It was anti-football, but they got to a semifinal playing the way they did and having that commitment to the players, to the coach. They were all on board. We are going to park the bus and see how far we can go using this style. And they got to the semis. Why can't Mexico do something like that? I'm not saying park the bus, but play to their strengths.
I've always wondered that how is it the teams like, Croatia, South Korea,
Turkey.
Morocco, Turkey can get to like, the semifinals and Mexico can't, like that.
It's just luck sometimes, Ron.
What's
sometimes the ball it's just luck. Sometimes the ball sometimes just bounces in your feet. Because which is really quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
94, U94. The game against Bulgaria, and they go down one man, and I think right there Mex just sort of fumbled it. They could have. That was a very winnable game. And I don't know if you guys. I know Ron has heard this because Stoichkov, he was like the top player for Bulgaria, Barcelona guy, and he was in Univision. I don't know if he still works there, but he tells a story of how when his players saw Hugo Sanchez warming up, he said a lot of them were like losing heart. They were like, "Oh shit, we're down a man. This dude's about to come in, and we're effed." And a bunch of shit happened where the disagreement and didn't go in.
Hugo didn't go in.
And then Hugo Sanchez, because I don't want him to play in the midfield.
He didn't want to play midfield. He didn't want to live up to the
He says, I'm a striker, dude. I scored goals. No, because he's like, they're down to man. Like, what the fuck, dude? We gotta go for, we gotta go for the kill. And then Luis Garcia, he does some stupid shit, and he gets red carded, and we end up goes to penalties. So sometimes, like, just these little things. Who knows? Even just bringing Hugo, let's say he would have gone in as midfielder. Probably one of their players would have probably fucked up, gave a foul or gave a PK or something.
Aspe brought it up though. He said, dude, you go into the game and then you just play in the position that you want to play. It's like once you're in the game, the coach can't control you. But he just didn't want to go in the game. I don't know. The moment was too bright for him. I don't know what it was.
It was his ego, ego and Aspe thing. Just nuts.
Like speaking about those, like those little things about luck or whatever. Like La Volpe was saying, he brought up Maxi Rodriguez's goal, and he brought up Gonzalo Pineda, right?
Gonzalo Pineda.
Yeah. And then he's like every time he runs into Gonzalo Pineda, Pineda says, "Please, don't remind me about the goal.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up.
Don't bring it up. Don't bring it up." I know. And then La Volpe basically said an anecdote that Gonzalo Pineda said, like, La Volpe basically said, "Hey, dude, what the hell happened?" Well, I thought the ball was going to drop, after Maxi chested it. Oh, it did drop in the back of the net,
I had to go back and see the goal, dude, because he gave him too much space. He didn't challenge him or contest that ball. He just let him bring it down. He didn't expect to hit it with his left because he's a right footer. But
I was sitting. I was pitch side. I was on the sideline where I forget the player, but the one that sent that long cross to Maxi Rodriguez. I was basically sitting down. I was sitting on that sideline taking pictures. I didn't see the goal in real time, and then it's like I just like, because remember you're seeing the game in just through the camera lens, right? So you're not seeing the entire field, and then next thing you know, boom, the stadium just erupts, and then I had to go look at the screen up top, and I'm thinking, fuck. Seeing that goal, or seeing that goal and up on the screen, and I'm thinking, I was pissed, but I was also in awe, man, because fuck, that's a hell of a goal.
It was a hell of a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. We got to play to our strengths. If there was a World Cup of drinking games, I think Mexico could make a argument to be at least in the top 4. If it was Pistear, dude, send our best. We'll send Marco Fabian, Alexis Vega, Chicote, man. We would do really well. We got to play to our strengths. I don't know what our strengths are on the national team. Wingers running around like headless chickens, because it ain't the defense. It ain't the goalkeeping position. Our striker department's pretty ass. Dude, I don't know. It's hard to be a coach of the national team when you got a talentless pool of players. But yeah, let me know what you guys are thinking. Joel,
Yes, sir.
did you catch the match? How do we feel about Brazil on Saturday?
Damn, no, you know what? I forgot about the game, and then when I finally log in for second half, it was already 4-0, man. I was like, all right, nothing to watch here anymore. That's the damage is done. So I didn't really pay much attention. I was like, were they expecting this? My immediate thought was, is this why they put the Chivas keeper in and save the Ame keeper? They didn't want to tarnish him right after that big win. Um, no, man, it's kind of upsetting knowing that Bielsa was an option and
I know.
FMF didn't even interview him, like didn't even consider him, and I think that just shows a lot of what's wrong with the federation. A lot of times, the politics, the fighting within, where it's affected many times from being able to progress. I would say like Menotti, with you have a World Cup winning coach as your head coach, and they sacked him after what, like 2 years,
Less.
and it wasn't even results. It was just politics because the people that brought him in, the way they came in was pretty bad. The way they came into FMF, and then Televisa took hold again.
Yeah.
And so it's like, you gotta go, man.
That's crazy.
Your people are gone. Filipao was another coach that was gonna ready to sign on the dotted. Another World Cup winning coach, and I forgot what. At that point, I forgot what was the big, disagreement. I think it had to do with the clothing. I think it had to do with like, oh, we're going with Adidas, and we're getting rid of Nike. So I think Nike had brought him in, and so I think it was over that, and they brought in La Volpe. We get you have these like big name coaches that you could have had, and then it's not even football related. Why they don't even arrive to the national team.
Yeah.
So you ask about what prediction for Brazil?
Mm-hmm.
Well, remember when you asked me what was my prediction for America Cruz Azul final, and I said, pepper that Angus. This one's going to be pepper that picanha. Brazil's gonna fuck us up, dude.
Another person asked Ray, does Jimmy even make it to Copa America?
I asked that question earlier.
Jimmy's going, his head's already on the platter, I think. They already have Aguirre's already counting his money.
Aguirre's already signing the check as we speak. We do have great news. Ricardo is alive. He's back. I'm glad. We were concerned, man.
I thought the tornadoes got him. Or he was deported. Just like Guatemalan jail or something right now.
Dude, we were thinking. I thought he OD'd, bro. He couldn't handle the bicampeonato. Just
his head exploded.
Life doesn't get better than this. But glad Ricardo's back. Would love to hear him talk about this national team disgrace. But yeah, dude, I honestly think, depending on how things go against Brazil, we don't even see Jimmy get to Copa America.
Wait, what Brazil is it though? Is it like
they got a squad, bro?
They're some kids they picked up at Rio de Janeiro. They would probably still a mix of beach soccer players and those trick guys. What are they called?
I think they're gonna bring the main the main guys, but at this point, bro, you could do you could actually call up the people that work at Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chao, and they would
Oh,
they probably whoop that ass, dude.
they still work there. They play in their break.
Y'all need to go to those
Shit.
Brazilian steakhouses. They are incredible.
I'm not too surprised though with the Uruguay loss. Yeah, I don't, and I don't think that makes such a horrible team. It's kind of messed up for Jimmy that he's gonna get like the majority of the blame. I do think he's um he's not the right candidate for the national team. I do think he still lacks a lot of experience, uh, and he's made some pretty bad choices. Uh, and I think these are like the massive learning experiences for him. They're just coming at a really great cost. So I ouch, ouch. Yeah, the net team is looking horrible. I don't think they're that bad. I still don't think they're that bad. They're just not. You know how like sometimes you have really good generation of talent, and then other times you go through some dry spells.
Yeah.
And I think with Max, it's a bit of a combination of there hasn't been that many top players combined with the league when balls to the wall on foreigners, which pretty much halved, cut in half how many national players were getting a chance to play. Because look at we talked about this a lot. Like just look at Uruguay. It's basically I don't think their teams even have they have what like maybe three foreigners. You know, so when you make the count of how many players, even in like let's say the first two divisions, you're looking at like 600 players. And so that's kind of and Mex what 120 at most, and out of those 120, like 60 are regular playing. So it's like, dude, we're I, I know they figured it out finally with the FMF and all that it's like if you stay like this, things are never going to really improve. Doesn't matter who you bring as coach. It's just it's
Hey,
too high a hill to climb.
Sorry to interrupt, but you never answered which coach you would bring in if Lozano would get kicked to the curb. I said either Piojo or Tuca. Almada I totally forgot about Almada, and intentionally I didn't bring up Jardine because I need America to win the campeonato.
Este way. Selfish.
I'm as more important than the national team right now for me because at least
it's not like he's gonna win shit with the national team anyway. So I see your feels, Ron.
Hey,
he's not in his to play better, but
in his defense, Jardina's defense, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but it's the truth. When you're a player for America or you're a coach for America and you're successful, that carries a lot more weight because America is that type of team that not only will they criticize you for what you do on the field, but they also criticize you for what you do off the field. And like I've told you this before, I mean, there were players that were able to ride their bikes to Pachuca's training camp or training grounds and in Puebla because, shit, no one cares. No one cares who you are over there. You're lucky if you have 10 reporters at the game there. But when you're with America, all eyes are on you. So you do need to have that sort of player and that sort of coach that's able to basically deal with just the negative press, because believe it or not, we have more negative press than analytical and critical press. You know what I mean?
Jardine won't take the job because he doesn't have the referees in his back pocket. He's like, wait, what do you mean? You mean I don't have the refs in the international stage? Oh, never mind.
I've been enjoying those memes like Penal para la América.
Those are funny.
so fucking hilarious.
We have.
I'll answer your question now, Ron.
Go ahead.
What's that?
I'll answer your question really quick. I was big on Piojo, but his last two stints, I don't know how much that's messed with his mojo. And I just think Almada's just been, he's hot right now. That would be my candidate, but I know he's not going to get chosen because of the whole Pachuca connection. So it's going to be, it's going to be Aguirre or maybe Nacho as his assistant. Who knows?
Hold on, guys. I want to let Ricardo speak.
I think Piojo would be my first choice because, I mean, how ironic would it be, that 30 years later, Piojo gets to coach a World Cup? Because if you think about it, in the U.S., because he missed it as a player because of his hot head, temper.
Eres un estúpido.
No Piojo. But let's have Ricardo join us. Ricardo, welcome back, man. He's alive.
Prepare for trouble and make it double. The biggest fucking team in the world does it again, and you guys pull out the same bullshit excuses as usual. Your bum ass team's in the ground. That shit's in the fucking ground. And add Mexico to that too. How you guys doing?
Are you talking about Real Madrid, dude? What are you? I know you're not talking about America.
It's America against everyone else, the biggest fucking team. And we just seen what happened today. You got the base of that bum-ass Chivas team starting for Mexico, and they're a fucking embarrassment. They play like El Salvador. No skill, tactically ignorant.
Oh, shit.
I thought I was looking at monkeys out there kicking the ball, man.
That was a setup, mi Richie.
The Televisa. Here, cue the Televisa bingo card. Here it comes. Why can't you Chivas Stardos for once in your life have some accountability, man? People are listening to this.
No, I agree that they didn't belong up there. I'm saying it's a setup that they knew that and threw them in there.
They another bingo card. Televisa picks the lineup. So you guys get your superstar Oliver Kahn, Buffon. Was that guy from Real Madrid? The Courtois, all in one, born in Mexico. Is that guy's nickname short for Talavera? Because if he is, that would make sense why that motherfucker is a bum. That guy sucks, man. He was born with no arms.
Oh my god!
I heard one of you say that it was a tactical problem. You can quote Ricardo Lavolpe. I think Menotti said it too, and I think Ben Hacker was once quoted in saying the Mexican player is tactically ignorant. They're stupid. They're not built to play soccer. That's why they don't know. They're not creative. Just like take a look at any Mexican athlete. Any one of them that succeeds, they're not in a creative sport. That's why they succeed in soccer and basketball.
Creatively throw hands.
And then
and lucha libre. Let's quick creative lucha libre.
That's well, yeah, I guess so. You can say that, but
look, I agree that Chivas still plays with Balón Cuadrado.
Hey, you guys, they should have thrown the towel like that black guy when they killed Apollo. Throwing the goddamn towel. That guy was done halfway through the game. Next time, you guys see, this is why I like coming on here, because at least you guys give me, you allow me to critique and expose the anti-America agenda. You guys hate to criticize your own players, but you point at America's players and say they're bums. And look at the trash you guys put on the field today.
Yeah.
None of those
No,
bums will
that,
start for America. Not one.
Hey,
Richie, I agree. They didn't belong there, dude. They didn't belong on the field. That's what to me it was like, almost like a setup, like smacking them in the ass. Like you're already celebrating the shit, man. You didn't have to embarrass us like that further. I was just cold blooded.
He's been holding that in for 2 months, dog. He's. Oh man.
No, but dude, no, seriously, man. If I'm Chivas, they're calling all my players for that friendly. I'll let like just 3 of you can go. I'm holding back, dude.
But you guys wanted this. You wanted a generational change. You
Well,
criticized
not me.
Ochoa.
That's them.
Well,
That's
I'm
not me, bro.
generalizing all of you. All of you belong in the bucket. All of you wanted this, and you see what happened today. They're no good. They're not ready. They're green.
Well,
And Chivas sucks. And Cruz Azul, and Cruz Azul. What every Cruz Azul fan in the world, they wipe their face with America's cum rag.
oh my god, dude. Ricardo is not holding back tonight. Glad to have you back. Look, dude, America ain't doing anyone any favors. Who are they lending to the national team? They use all foreigners, dude.
The classic the Mexican players can't succeed in the Liga MX because the foreigners taking their spot. I'm done with that bullshit, man. If they're good enough, what a slap in the fucking face to all the players, all those Mexican players that won their starting job in front of a foreigner, like Malagon and others, and etc. Well, why aren't they good enough? Why the cream always rises to the top? Why do you guys always have to make excuses for these bums?
I've been telling these guys that for a long time.
That's a pathetic take, man. That's why Mexico's where it's at.
I've been telling Hol that for 20 years. I've been telling that for 20 years that take away Salcido, take away Chicharito. Chivas hasn't produced a world-class player or even an elite player, whereas Cruz Azul, Pumas, America, and other teams have produced, better quality players for the national team, precisely because they have to compete against not just a local talent pool, but an international talent pool. So, it's always going to be, if Cuauhtemoc Blanco can be the starting, there's more merit in Cuauhtemoc Blanco, Henry Martin, being the starting, forward than in Omar Bravo, Jair Garcia, or whoever for Chivas, because having to go and compete not only with the local talent pool, the regional talent pool, but also the international talent pool. So, I mean, that's
Yeah, and that's what's hurting what's hurting Chivas right now. That and has been for a while now. You could go back to in Fierro. They tried to like he had like the really great under 17, and
Who?
they're trying to throw it.
Who was that?
Fierro.
Oh, the guy that quit on you guys.
No, he didn't.
He
No, the
quit.
striker.
He
No, the
quit on
striker.
Chivas.
No, you're talking about Hierro. I'm talking about Carlos Fierro, the striker.
yeah.
He's a bum too.
Dude, he actually won some pretty good silverware. I think already had a pretty decent playing career.
Not as a starter. He was the bench.
But
He's Robert Ory, riding the bench.
Hey, he got paid, and he has silverware in his. He has a trophy cabinet with bling, dude.
Like Rudy T said, never underestimate the heart of a champion, and that's what America did. Bicampeonato. The rest of you guys suck it. Your team sucks, and America's over you. And you've listened to 50 years of conspiracy theories from some loser reporter that couldn't make it in Spain.
To my Chiva hermanos, don't listen to him, okay? You guys are good. Don't ruin it for me, Ricardo. I'm trying to set wagers with these guys. So I I always tell the guys, America's doing bad. X guys on the injured list. But these fuckers don't want to bet me anymore.
Hey, and shout out to Chicharito and Amaury Vergara for bringing that bum back and losing that goal. That guy helped America win the title.
Oh,
Shout out to Chicharito.
I did think that welcome back was a bit exaggerated. That was just on my part.
That was a
And
tough.
like
That was a tough.
that
That was a tough finish, dude. It was a hard pass. It bobbled. He wasn't gonna put that in the back of the net, and most players wouldn't have either.
No, I do think he fucked that up, dude.
Bro.
Dude, that's what you get paid to do, man. So I'm sorry, bro. You're supposed to know. You're supposed to know what's up by this point. He's just Chicho Tronco right now. I'm hoping he could regain his
quieres,
mojo.
pásame tu número y le marco para explicarte paso a paso que Chivas vale verga.
Yeah, I don't know how we got on the Chivas talk, bro. We're talking about the national team and the lack of talent.
Because it's Chivas' fault. Chivas.
Because he's saying it was the Chivas base.
You guys have been exposed to one of the biggest brain rot theories in the fucking world. That Chivas and Pumas are like some sort of superstar cantera teams, and it's a fucking lie. It's a myth. You guys never produce players like that. Pumas' golden generation. They only won one title. You guys are good. Yeah. Look.
Well, they were. The media pushes that narrative.
Real quick, Cole. I'm just gonna. You guys' cantera is so fucking trash that you signed one of the biggest America rejects known to man, Omar Govea. That guy never had a chance of sniffing the fucking America bench. He was passing out the Capri Suns and the Lunchables. They sent bum ass to Europe and Chivas just bought him. And this is the Chivas Bombazo. This is the Chivas Bombazo, an America reject.
Hey, Ricardo, what do you think of Chivas' No Sabo kid? Cade Powell, No Sabo.
The Walker Texas Pocho, the Walker Texas Cracker with the
No Sabo kid. Yeah, that guy.
Hey, Chivas fans are every single one of you that wore that dumb cowboy hat to the stadium, and my eyes don't lie or deceive me. I've seen you bums with the photos online promoting that bum wearing the cowboy hat. That motherfucker was. I called into this podcast, and you guys got butthurt, and I told you that motherfucker is garbage. He's a disgusting excuse for a player. The MLS hype, you guys gobbled it up. You had your hype spoon, and you gobbled that shit up. The Chivas bullshit. That guy's a bum, and I told you guys.
He's good player, dude. I think the media overhypes, but he's done well. I wouldn't say he's a bust.
Cade Cow is just Jurgen Damm with muscles.
Give him another tournament.
Albert, welcome to the show, man.
How's it going?
How you taking this 4-0 defeat?
Well, you know what? It's so you can see it on two fronts. All right, the fans wanted new players. Fuck it, they gave new players. You can't have new players or growing pains. But then again, I think Lozano fucked up. This squad he presented today was a squad he should have sent against Bolivia. You put Tala out there. Tala Rangel looked fucking nervous. Maybe two of the goals were his fault, but he was fucking nervous. You throw him on what you did was you fucking threw him against the fucking Lions. You threw him against a striker from the fucking EPL, and that's what happened. I'm not gonna fucking put a verdict on him over fucking 90 minutes in his first game. I think he's a good goalie. I know the Americanista here is gonna say he's shit. But he's a good goalie.
Why is he a good goalie? Based on what? What do you do?
He had a good fucking tournament. He had a good tournament. He has qualities, and you're gonna fucking kill him over fucking 45 minutes.
Getting your shit pushed in by America twice in 1 year isn't good, buddy.
Your boy Edson Alvarez fucking lost 2 balls.
Your goalkeeper sucks.
fucking
buddy.
boss and fucking set him up to
America's on
die.
top of you, buddy.
And set him up to
Malagón
die.
pisses on
Your boy
Malagón
fucking
pisses
Edson set him
on
up to die.
Relax.
I'm not gonna
Malagón
kill him over
pisses
fucking 90
on
minutes.
Ted.
Welcome to
Deal
the
with it, man. You guys are making excuses for this bum.
He's not
Pathetic.
bomb. Your boy
He's a
fucking
bum.
Edson
He
loses
got
two
his shit pushed
balls.
in twice
And
by
we're supposed to
America.
fucking, the guy fucking sucks balls. Nah,
He
fucking 90
sucks.
minutes. His first
He's
game.
a fucking loser. He sucks.
Relax,
What about your boy
dude.
Edson today?
Relax.
Your boy Edson fucking lost fucking 3 for balls on the fucking goals.
so you want the whole Chivas lineup for him to look good,
fucking,
right?
Edson wasn't great, and we're fucking killing the Chivas players today. What the fuck?
So
Yo.
you want the Chivas lineup for him to look quotation good?
We cannot put a fucking verdict on a 90 minutes.
You need
dude.
to hold
Come
your
on,
boy
dude.
accountable like the rest of you Chigarmanos help Ochoa accountable.
Let's not get too
Hold
crazy
fucking-
here.
Hey, hold
He had a
Edson,
good
hold
tournament.
Edson
He had a good
accountable.
tournament.
He had a good fucking
All right,
tournament.
can you guys be rational for a moment and explain to me how it's a good tournament?
Look,
To me, when it's a good tournament, you reach a final or you win something. Did he do either of that?
Yeah, but he had a good
He's
performance.
not
This
only
his
one
first
player.
season start?
Look,
Wasn't he fighting for a job with that
Magalon, your
Spanish
boy
bum?
Magalon is not that much better than him. Magalon is not. It's not fucking
No, he just
Ochoa in
want to be
2014.
campeonato. That's it.
Him. It was him. He fucking one fucking good game that he had. He was average. You know what he was? He was like fucking. He was like Victor Valdez with Barcelona.
Shit,
Like
man.
Victor Valdez with Barcelona. You could have put a fucking cone in the back and it wouldn't have made a difference.
So when he had all those stops against Tigres in the first championship,
One fucking game here and there. He's an average goalie.
has this
The only
bum,
thing
has
that we
your
have
bum
fucking
got
goalies
one
right now,
game?
so he looks good.
Which game did that bum show off?
So he looks good.
Which game?
Who?
The bum you're hyping up. You're making it seem like he's Oliver Kahn.
Can we talk about Pro Day?
He's a young guy. You can't fucking kill him over fucking 90 minutes, Dick. Sorry to call you Dick. But I mean, you can't kill him. You can't call him. You can't. Why the fuck are you gonna? And you know what? The fucking idiot here was a sign of fucking to fuck. I knew it was gonna fucking happen. You're gonna fucking burn this fucking kid. It should have been. It should have been managed better.
So you want
the Sabo kid?
What? The fucking Tala, not the Sabo kid.
So you want him to take the bum team so he can look good?
No, it's about you build confidence. It's a process. The guys new to the team. You fucking build up his confidence. You fucking throw him out there like Magalon played a couple of moleros.
Yeah, it was his first his debut for the national team, bro. He was just too green.
You're not gonna fucking throw him away. Fucking over
doesn't mean he's trash.
Reasonable take.
Especially with fucking Edson Alvarez, Mr. fucking Machine, fucking loses 2 balls,
That's a
3 fucking
reasonable
balls,
take.
and compromises the fucking team.
Yeah, and
You can't do that.
What about that bird-looking motherfucker Alvarado? What did he do?
We know he's been a fucking bum. It's just the fucking I don't know why they keep. He's good with Chivas, but he's not good with the fucking national team.
I'm glad you just said that.
No, I said it. I said it for a while. He's a fucking good fucking club player.
Every single Chivas player, that's all they are. They're good with Chivas. None of them show out.
Wow.
They're not. They get their shit pushed in by America regularly, and look, I'll use Joel for an example.
Hey, well, look,
when they got eliminated.
With America players, fucking Mexico gets their shit to sing fucking by the USA.
America's all up in your mouth today, buddy.
So what the
That's all
fuck?
you're
So
talking
what the
about.
fuck? It doesn't make a difference.
All right, look, it's a reasonable it's a reasonable take. Is that the Santander? Oh, I thought that was the Santander one. When you guys had the same ref in the last 3 games.
Wow, here you go with the Santander shit. Oh.
All right. Well, look, like I was saying,
It's
you're very
easy.
butthurt.
Look, Ricardo, it's easy to blame. Oh, it's because they used all these Chivas players in the lineup today, bro. But like, dude, again, like I mentioned before.
But dude.
America,
it was actually losing the 3 balls and the goals.
What is
and none of the Chivas?
What is America doing for the national team? What is America doing for the national team? What players are they?
No, that's my point exactly. They don't need to do nothing, Jaime. You guys always have the excuse of them. Oh, they always win because they got foreigners, right? So
Well,
you can't have your cake and eat it too,
I'm
and
just
say,
saying.
"Oh, they use foreigners." That's a complete contradiction.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're over here complaining that we're using the base of Chivas, but it's like you guys aren't producing anything either.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm saying hold everyone to the same standard. And if you're gonna have if you're gonna have the take of him being a young guy and being inexperienced, all right, I can understand that. But don't be saying he's a good goalkeeper when he hasn't done shit, or the best goalkeeper. He hasn't done shit.
Wow.
I didn't say he was the best, but I do think he's a good prospect. He's only 24, dude.
I mean,
he was nervous.
I mean, if winning a bicampeonato is bullshit, I mean,
but again,
I guess he should wear Tejana like Koa, and then they'll send him to Madrid or something with that bum hierro, or I mean Saudi Arabia.
But again,
he quit, right? He quit on you guys, and he went over there. He said, "Joder, esas Chivas valen verga."
But let's be real about the goalie pool.
Hombre,
It's not
esas
deep.
Chivas valen verga.
The goalie pool is not deep.
Jaime, you'll never see 7 titles. Never in your life. You're gonna be crying for the rest of your life. Talking about bum ass Toros Nesa, a team that doesn't even exist anymore.
Show me on this doll where Chivas hurt you, bro. Man, you always got some chip on your shoulder, dude.
You'll never see it.
Who hurt
never.
Did a Chiva hermano take your girl?
We need to.
I have a quick question.
They don't got enough money to do that, buddy.
We need to put some.
Just like Amario Vergara with his broke ass.
we need to even out the emotions with El Rifado, because he's been spitting nothing but facts today. Go ahead, Rifado.
In order for Ricky Ricardo's slanderous generalization of Pumas and Chivas to be true, you have to overlook who the all-time leading goal scorer for Mexico is, as well as who is the most successful player in the history of Mexico. Both of them came from the Chivas and Pumas Academy. So,
hey, let me get my time machine and I'll go back in time and watch it and experience that, man. We're talking about right now.
Wow. That said, I'm going to say I don't think outside of Pachuca, anyone comes close to America and what they've provided for the national team. You look at, Cordova, Lainez, what's it called? Who else? El Machín.
Two bums, Lainez and Cordova, they're bums.
They're not even on the national team.
They're not even on the fucking team.
Crying for Cordova. That's a bombazo for you guys.
Imagine how much Cordova.
And they were successful.
He already snubbed us
Imagine how much Cordova sucks. That El Piojo is on the fucking team and Cordova's not. Imagine how much he sucks.
You guys took bum ass Alexis Vega to the World Cup. Think about that.
You guys, you act like we're calling him up to the national team, bro. It's not our call.
That's how you sound when you say that Televisa picks the players. I'm just using your logic.
I don't know about that
because
one, Chief.
Who else are you gonna fucking call? Who else were you gonna fucking call? There's really, it's fucking, the pool is fucking like shallow. It's like a kiddie pool.
It is shallow, and I've stuck to my guns. My argument's been consistent. These players suck, but you guys are making a lot of you. I won't generalize because then you guys get emotional. A lot of you guys in a certain fan base, certain fan bases, are always saying the same bullshit, and you talk the talk, but you don't walk the walk. Your team doesn't produce players. So much so that your bombazo is Omar Govea.
Is that a bombazo?
Hey,
you know what? In your hate, I'm surprised that you didn't mention that Al Sarwai kid that they also fucking signed.
We got an Armenian on the team now, bro. You better watch out.
You got two guys. I mentioned a guy a while back called Mauricio Reyes, and I said that he's not good enough to beat out Chicote or Fuentes. And now you guys signed him like your all-star refuerzo. He's another bombazo.
It is what it is.
Your cantera is garbage, and you need to be thanking America for providing you with these bum-ass players.
Hey, you guys have Chicote. That was one of our sloppy seconds.
He won, he won he won the title. When's the last time any of your players won a title?
A couple years. Well, it's been a while.
You're gonna need the same ref 3 times for that one too, though. Oh, Jaime was so mad when that happened. I know he was. He was like, "God damn you, Televisa!"
That's Abdias. That's Abdias. He's not even on tonight's episode. That's how bad it is.
Oh, test tube Abdias.
But hey, I mean, let's talk about Hierro, man. This guy straight up abandoned the project after he found out that Vergara's ex-wife wants more money, and and yeah, he decided to leave and go to a different project over in Saudi Arabia. They're like, it's not even like 3 times the salary; it's 10 times the salary that he was making at Chivas. So,
And who wouldn't upgrade their job? Tell me.
That's a different.
Yeah,
that's a different argument. Abandon is a funny word. Is a funny
It's not
way of
abandoned. I
saying
don't think he
quit.
abandoned.
I think he abandoned
quit.
for sure.
He quit. He quit on you guys, and a lot of you guys. I think Jaime and the rest of you Chivas Starados on this podcast were shitting on Chelis for saying that he's a bum, and he was right. You owe Chelis an apology. Apologize to him,
He wasn't
man.
a bum. He improved us.
What do you do?
You missed the chat, Richie, because I agreed with Elise about being the papel.
What do you do?
Hey, have you ever seen that video? Have you ever seen that video of this dog? Little dog jumps over the fence, bangs the female dog, then jumps and leaves. That's basically what fucking Hierro did to you guys.
He fucking used them. He used them, and these guys put him.
Honestly,
They
I don't
put him
see
in
it
a
like that. The guy just
pedestal.
took a better fucking job. That's what it is.
That's a different argument. You're excusing the you're excusing the action with the job that he took. We understand why he took it. We're criticizing the action that he took. He quit.
Did he leave Chivas better than he found it? Yes, he did. Because it was a shit show.
He didn't win shit.
He didn't win shit, but he left it better than he found
Chivas
it.
wasn't the shit show, man. Come on, how they weren't the shit show.
He left it.
He did some good things. Like he brokered friendlies with European teams, like Athletic Bilbao. He expanded the network.
That tree trunk trophy.
It's like a friendly match that helps both clubs and
that cutting board trophy. Is that the one you're talking about?
I mean, it's a friendly.
It's exposure, bro. It's exposure.
Man, no one knows who Chivas is. That bum took your guys' money. He didn't do shit, and you guys put him on a fucking pedestal. Call it how it is, man.
I don't put him on a pedestal. I don't put him on a pedestal.
A lot of you guys
he did an okay job. He did an okay job, but if he leaves.
So what else did he do? He expanded the scouting network across Europe with the dual nationals, which is something that Mexico is lacking in. We have a lot of people that we like citizens, and that's a step in the right direction. Like the USA, they have a lot of players that could have played for other teams.
Hey, real quick, let me respond to that real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Oscar Wandy. You're gonna say him, huh?
See, that argument goes straight to the shitter. Once he leaves and Chivas starts signing a bunch of America rejects. He didn't do shit.
So I said it's a step in the right direction. It's a step in the right direction. And what's to say they can't get some other European guy who has connections just as good, or if not better, than Hierro? I mean, I don't blame Hierro for leaving. He's securing the bag. He's securing the bag, $10 million a year. Who wouldn't want that? Especially in Saudi Arabia, where there's like no taxes. Yeah. It was just the smarter move.
Why do you guys do that? Everywhere you hear, you go online or you go on the damn TV on the sports networks. Every single one of you say the same thing.
About what?
I would have done that too. We understand that. No one's criticizing that. Everyone is criticizing the fact that he quit like a fucking dog on you guys.
He
did
didn't
that.
quit. He's in his fucking. Why the fuck did he quit? He's been
He
2 years there.
quit.
If he would have left him fucking 6
They
months,
paid his
Drop
release
it.
clause.
No. You're lying, Jaime. That's a lie.
We got $3 million from
No,
the.
you didn't.
Yeah,
no,
we did.
you did not. That's a fucking lie. Rafael Ramos even
Oh
reported on
yes, because he's so reliable.
who? Mr. Fucking
Yes, I
that
agree.
said that fucking Osvaldo Sanchez
Yes.
was gonna sign with Barcelona. Fuck, he fucking. I wouldn't fucking. Whatever he says, I think it was a big
So
deal.
all right, so I'll just watch out for the next Chivas communication letter because that's the only.
Hey,
you need
obviously
an
the
official
checks are
statement
rolling
in order for that to
in.
happen. Then, huh?
The checks are rolling in, bro. We just had 2 bomba signings right now.
Oh, you're right about that. Can't argue there. You guys sign bums.
We're
like
gonna do some Indian trading to get some other players from Rajados or Tigres or fuck knows where we're gonna get
Man,
players from.
it's just crazy to me. I've called in when I remember calling in when this bum got hired. When you guys murdered Pelais for whatever reason,
Take
Yeah,
it.
that
Let me,
Pelais sucked though.
let me, Richie.
and you
No,
and everything, and all of you guys said he's coming from Madrid, this and that. He
No,
shoe
that,
shines
that
floating
was
through
Habibi.
Paris.
That was Habibi, dude.
And
That's
what
not
does he
me.
do? He signs a bunch of bums and he quits on you guys. Call
I
it
think
for
it was
what it is. Have
twofold.
some integrity.
I
People
don't
listen
think
to this, man.
I don't think he just used to Chivas. Chivas benefited from him. There had been a massive campaign against the club. They were making the club look bad. A lot of campaign on Pelaez, and then my Chi hermanos all fell for it too. Just started criticizing. But he did come in. The team was about to start renewing, trying to get in sponsorships and TV deals, and that was the fluff. Oh, we have the Real Madrid guy, and for a lot of Mexican fans, that's still the white savior type. We need someone from Europe to come and show us how to kick the ball type of thing, because nothing we've had seems to be good enough.
He pulled the Hernan Cortez. Call it how it is. He pulled the Hernan Cortez, and you guys fell for it
Oh
as
my
usual.
god.
No,
You guys
Chivas
fell
did
for it.
benefit. They did benefit. They did benefit from having him. At least I would say to that extent. I don't. I think he gets a lot of credit for a lot of the stuff that the club was already doing. Club's been scouting in Europe since the whole what's his name? Cruyff, the
He
whole
didn't
Cruyff.
have the
They had
decency to
they were
call the
already
owner.
starting doing all that. So they,
Didn't Fernando Hierro have a kid in Mexico?
He had a
is that what
kid.
he left? he's not paying the child support. Ron, did he have that thing like
I thought
McCracken?
I thought he was a kid born in Mexico.
He was the kid that's like, sometimes when I wake up, Mr. Hierro's already here.
If that's the case, if he had a kid, well, the reference to what Ricardo said about Hernán Cortez, he also had a kid in Mexico and then took him to Spain. So, I mean, you got that going there.
These guys love the slop, the fake news Chivas slop. They eat it up. They eat this shit up like it's pudding.
You keep dunking me in the Richie way. We usually agree on most of the stuff. Just not the way you word it, but we're almost on the same page there.
Hey, he quit. You guys. It sounds
he got a better
strong,
contract,
but he
though,
quit.
So.
All
So what do
right.
you say?
You guys are a bunch of
Gago's
quitters.
not far behind.
Are we done with the Chivas slander, man? We're over here catching strays. The real story is Mexico losing 4-0 to Uruguay.
And all of a sudden, it became a Chivas issue.
Yeah, he had months of like Chiva hate to unleash.
Yeah.
Mexico's future is so bad that even Irving Lozano said, you know what? I retire. At the age of 28, I retire. I'm going to go to San Diego and get a fat check. And bye.
It's a 2018 World Cup, man. It'll be in the second round of 16 again. You'll be happy.
What about Copa America? Is it possible that Mexico that they get surprised by Venezuela and then Ecuador?
Absolutely. Right now, we're not getting out of the group stage, dog. Not with this kind of team.
I don't know how I would call Venezuela beating Mexico a surprise.
Okay.
Unless they're bringing like a weaker team than their squad that is currently at, their main team from the World Cup qualifiers.
So right
It's
now,
not,
would you have Ecuador and Venezuela qualifying in that group?
I would, yeah.
So Ecuador for a long time was leading the World Cup qualifying. They kind of fell down a little bit, and it coincides with that Chelsea player kind of playing like shit for the past couple months. I forgot his name, but he's the DM. I mean the CDM for Chelsea. And then Venezuela. This might be their golden generation. They're doing really good. I think they beat Brazil at home, and that's like no easy feat. That like never happens, especially in World Cup qualifying. So I definitely have them over Mexico right now. But, I don't want to put too much stock in today's loss because it was an experimental lineup and it was against who I consider the best team in CONMEBOL, who is Uruguay right now, who's been, dominating a lot of people, Argentina included. So I wouldn't put too much stock in it. But we're definitely not where we want to be, where the fan base wants Mexico to be. But we could surprise people and we could fall on our face because we have two really good teams, and then we have Jamaica with a lot of talent but kind of like disorganized. So it's really a toss up, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I think sometimes Mexico tends to like their shit. What's this word I'm looking for? Like their motivation, their confidence. Their confidence can drop, and I think that's gonna reflect right now on Jimmy if he's able to, light a fire in their ass, especially if going into this Brazil match, if it's another hard defeat, then yeah, going into the tournament, it could be looking dire, and this is where we'll see if he has that aspect because that's I think one thing that where Piojo shined was he was always able to motivate the players, and you kind of need that with the Mexican players because they need a lot of like um, kind of like baby in La Puente used to say that you kind of have to like you know so, reassure them a lot of the times.
Jimmy's a bum ass coach. And his Mr. Miyagi assistant, wax on, wax off, he's a bum too.
Oh damn.
His Japanese assistant is catching strays, dog.
Of all the flavors, Ricardo choose salt.
I know. So I guess now that we have more people on the show, say things go absolutely horrible against Brazil, like another 7-0 like we lost against Chile. Is that Jimmy's head? Are we going to have a new coach by Copa America kickoff?
There's already a new coach, man. It's already Aguirre. Once he didn't
why is Aguirre a candidate? Why is he a candidate?
Because
everywhere
the
he
dude in
goes,
charge of the national team.
Just look at what he did at Mallorca. He got them to a Copa del Rey final.
And he lost.
He's a bombero. He's a bombero.
He's a good player, and that's why he's famous. He's a bum.
You break in case of an emergency. You break the glass and you call Aguirre for the third time.
Who knows? 3 times that might be the charm.
Till that Cruz Azul.
Habibi, he lives. I don't know. You got anything to say?
Hey man, speaking of living, when I first logged onto the space and I clicked start to listen, the first voice I heard was Ricardo's voice, and I was like, "Oh my God, he's alive!"
You missed me, huh?
And then 2 minutes later,
you think about me.
2
I'm all
minutes
you
later,
think
after
about.
hearing him, my reaction was like,
I'm all you think about.
My reaction was like, "Oh my God, he's alive." Same words, different tone. Went from excited to disappointed.
Why wouldn't I be alive? America has a bicampeonato and your team's in the fucking shitter, buddy.
Hey, congratulations on the bicampeonato,
Didn't you pick Cruz Azul? Who'd you pick?
No, I had America.
Can anyone confirm this?
Yeah, go back.
He
listen
did.
to it.
He did.
You have to.
I could have swore he said third time's a charm.
No,
I caught the last pod.
You have to remember, Habibi's a degenerate gambler.
I understand that, but I'm holding his words. I'm holding him accountable.
I said, this is a team that, different coach, different players that hasn't been affected by the situation, the comebacks before. Who knows? Maybe third time's a charm, but I think America's gonna win it.
Yeah, that's a easy way to cover your ass.
Nah, it's all America. But anyways, that's in the past. As far as
No,
Mexico,
it's the present, not the
actually
past.
no.
The
You know what?
present.
Let me go with a Hierro one real quick.
Yeah,
One.
talk to us about that quitter. Come on,
Yeah,
let's
let's
hear
go
you
with
make
that
an
one real
excuse.
quick.
Come on, let's hear it.
All right.
Slob them up. Slob them up.
Mira,
Let's hear it.
pendejo. You can't call them de
Slob them
papel.
up. You hype
can't
them up.
call
You
them de
you
papel.
pray to that
And
motherfucker.
Joel, this
You
applies to
pray
you
to
too.
him. You pray to him.
Oh my God, let him
Mediocre
speak, bro.
Miguel prays to that bum. Let's hear it.
Joel, this applies to you. Both of you pendejos cannot call him directivo de papel and then call him
He's
a
a
quitter.
fucking bum.
You can't say he's a directivo de papel and then say he left the team better off. Which one is it? He's the papel and didn't do shit and he had zero to do with the team, or he actually did things
But
and
no
he
one
quit
said he
halfway
had
through.
zero. Not zero, but at the same time, he didn't do anything that the club wasn't already doing.
Joel, you
Like,
say
he
that
didn't
shit
innovate
all the
shit.
time, and then you bring up an example like, well, 20 years ago they were doing this. It's like
Well,
fucking
because it applies.
Mourinho could come
It
in,
applies.
give 10 championships in a row, and you would say, well, let's look at
No,
what
that's
Ricardo
different, bro.
Peláez
That's
did. I mean, Ricardo
that
Peláez
championship.
is the
No,
one
Shut
who
that's
up with
started
the
this.
Euro
the
compare.
championship's actual
Say he
silverware,
quit.
dude.
You gotta give
That's
the current
different.
guy their
Say
flowers.
he
You left
quit.
the team better
Play
off.
Higuera.
No,
Play
you
Peláez.
gotta give the
Let's
current
hear it.
guys that are still working at the club their
No.
clout too. All of those coaches and scouts that have been doing that. It's kind of, and I always remind you guys, it's kind of the same with Hans Westerhoff. When he comes in, he debuts a lot of those players were already there. A lot of them were already getting debuted, and a lot of the
Those
fans
guys
just gave
from
him the credit.
No,
weren't
the
they
two
already?
people he left in charge, one
Huh?
of them has been in charge of the youth teams in the Holster side for the last 18 months.
That bum ass youth team
His name is what?
that's
Fran Perez, I think?
contracting America's rejects, right?
Hey,
So he's a bum too.
not just America's rejects.
That motherfucker's
MLS rejects
trash.
too, 'cause
Slob him up.
They're
Slob
signing
him
that
up.
Brian Gutierrez guy
Hype
from
him up.
Chicago Fire.
You're on your knees and praying to that fucking bum.
Hey man, it's not
Be
on the
have
knees
some
praying.
integrity. Have some integrity for once in your life and call it how it is. He
Have
fucking
some
quit on
dignity.
you and you pray to him.
Have some
He
dignity.
didn't quit, man. It's like
Oh,
Alberto said.
He did quit.
Here comes
Somebody
the spin.
comes
Come
in
on.
and offers you
He,
10
he
times
threw the
the
towel.
pay. You're gonna take
No
it.
mas. Roberto Duran, no mas. He didn't want no more. He said, joder, America's muy grande, Chivas vale verga. That's what he said.
Hey,
I
like
don't
if
know,
couldn't
because I think
compete.
his people
Like if
were
the
He
left
took the
Mexican
easy
soccer,
way out.
and
He
his
couldn't
people
compete.
stayed behind.
I don't think
Like-
he ever intended to stay there a long time, though. I think that was just like just for the meantime. I don't think he was gonna be there for years and years.
Yeah, he lasted longer than I expected. I gave him 6 months, honestly.
yeah,
Hey,
that's what I thought
hey.
too.
Hey, now that you guys are talking about this bum, let's see. Let's use the integrity meter to see. Let's see if you guys aren't full of shit. Who, knowing what we know now, who was the better sporting director? Peláez, the guy that built the team that got you to a final,
Stop
or
it.
this bum? He didn't build that team.
I said it earlier. He left the team better than he found it. Peláez left the team in
He
shambles.
took it to a final.
Oh no, Jaime, come on.
That was his doing.
I agree with Jaime.
The
No.
bullshit meters.
No.
Ding 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 ding. Don't
He
check.
is. He
You guys
looked
are
at
full
us.
of shit, man.
He looked at us with a straight face after Vucetic was incompetent and said, "We're gonna extend his contract," and then they got rid of him. So Peláez
Who,
was
the guy you hate,
No,
Vucetic?
you guys forget why they
Now
got rid
you're
of him.
knocking him for that?
No, you guys already forgot. See, that's the thing. You pop for the media hoopla, and then you forget the real reasons. You guys forgot the whole takeover that happened with what's this fucking kid's name? He took over the team as well. He's the one related to the icon.
The bricklayer.
Yes, Leaño. His family is all related to the Akron, and they were. Chivas was like in Porsche Street, scrounging for coins, and they were like, "We're leaving, dude. Like we're pulling out," and they just let Junior have his go with Chivas because that's what really happened. And this dude, that was the main criticism that even I could say for Pelaez was like where it's like kind of integrity of like you should have just left at that point.
Yeah, it's like who's running this
Because
team? Because
they
Leaño.
made him look
I have
bad.
a point to that.
Yeah,
I have a point to that real quick. You guys are saying all this. You're criticizing Peláez and everyone. You listen to different interviews. You listen to different people around the situation. Peláez didn't have power like that. Everyone says this Spanish bum he was calling the shots here, and he fucking quit.
I thought you said que era de papel. Which one is it?
Es de papel, con mierda, papel de mierda.
Oh,
wow. Damn,
He's
Ricardo,
a
you're
fucking
fire
quitter.
tonight.
Call it for what it is, man. He quit.
God damn. Man on fire.
So knowing all this, you're still picking that bum over Peláez? He literally built the team that got you guys to a final.
Last time I checked, he didn't bring in Guti, Pocho Guzman.
No one. He did bring Pocho Guzman.
He did bring Pocho Guzman.
Tried to.
Yeah.
He failed.
No, he was signed. No, he was signed.
Exactly.
He was signed already.
He was signed.
He was
He
signed.
got signed. Yes, he was. He
was
cashed
signed.
everything.
When he bounced, he was already on the team.
I think Guerrero was the one that signed Guti, though.
And no one wanted that bum.
No.
He was rotting in the bench at PSV.
Hey, when you guys are talking about a director deportivo who was better and stuff like that, there was a meme, and it was when they had Peláez, and when you guys had Paco de Anda as director deportivo in Chivas.
Yeah.
And, they basically did a meme. They overlaid it on this Mexican soap opera, La Chacha de la Vecindad. I posted it on there. So basically, it had Peláez as the rich, the rich chick with all the bags and all the new signings, and they had Paco de Anda with nothing. You guys recall seeing that meme?
I don't think so.
No, I mean,
I don't know.
I posted it on YouTube. I just thought it was really funny because, I mean, how many sporting directors has Chivas had? I mean, they've had quite a few now.
Oh yeah,
they're a fucking joke, man. And Peláez clears that bum, and you crucified Peláez.
Not me. Honestly, I like Peláez. I thought he was doing a decent job, and when they fired him, I was like, "What the fuck?"
No, but if he would have had a funny accent, and he would have been connected to some Euro team, you guys would have had the knee pads out, the Vaseline ready to go.
Listo para cromársela.
That shit's crazy. You guys always fall for the Hernan Cortez effect. Always, it never misses.
So I think there's some warranted criticisms on Peláez. Didn't he bring in that bum from America? I forgot the delantero. He was Oribe Peralta.
Yep.
Who else did he bring in?
The guy that had more goals than Chicharito?
That wasn't him. That was
him. Okay.
No, it was.
It was that bum Higuera, right?
Jose Luis Higuera.
Oh.
And you guys paid America handsomely for it.
That was Higuera. And they messed up the team because they were paying wages, so it was hard for the team to, and then Oribe would leave. They kept punting him off to like, hey, do you want to retire in Santos? And then he was like, nah, I'm cool right here.
Who brought in that bum from Charlotte? What's his name? That centro delantero that sucked, and they sent him back to MLS.
Daniel Rios.
Trash. Who brought him in?
That was Hierro. That was his first signing.
Oh.
Did he not spend 4 big ones on that guy?
No.
He spent decent money on that guy.
He did spend money on him.
Someone said he spent $4 million.
No,
yes,
that was too much.
I'll find it and I'll share it with you guys so you guys can cry about it.
That was my only blight on Peláez.
But
with that said,
pretend Peláez didn't drop that money on those 3 bums from the Caxa, $9 million. And then he also had.
All right, so from what you've seen, what this bum did. So what you've seen from Real Madrid, babe, you're sucking him off. You're sucking him off. Hey, this guy's on. Pick him up. Save him. Somebody save this guy. He's falling apart. He's falling apart.
Eliminated from
He's falling
quarterfinals twice.
apart. He's not consistent. He's biased. He has a Chivas tattoo on his ass. He doesn't make any sense. How about you make a rational argument and then I'll let you talk, all right?
The rational argument, motherfucker, is that the team didn't do shit under him.
And neither did this bum.
Yes, they
Neither
did.
did this bum.
What do you mean they did?
The team that got you to the final.
Out of all his
Twice already when Chivas couldn't even qualify to the
That
Liguilla.
team went to a final and he built that team.
Chivas couldn't even.
He built that team.
Chivas was like 4 or 5 seasons without Liguilla. Well, we already forgot, right? 4 or 5 seasons no Liguilla, and then they started finishing between 15th and 17th.
Okay, Joel, 2 repechajes, 2 quarterfinals, and 1 semi.
Yes, yes, it is. Compared to no Liguilla at all.
2 quarterfinals and a semi, a bunch of disciplinary issues, and none of his refuerzos.
Those are already there. What? They sold him. The Lions sold the best player he brought. He's going to be a 2-time World Cup player.
Who?
They sent him to Cruz Azul. I'm forgetting his name.
Oh, Antuna?
Yeah. Everyone was riding on that.
Everyone was doing well.
He went. Ended up going to the World Cup. That's what you want.
Hey, I'm gonna ask you guys a question. I'm gonna ask you guys a question and try to be reasonable for everyone that's listening. Don't let your bias and hate cloud your judgment. Who is getting rid of Vega and adding the MLS bum with a cowboy hat, that Walker Texas cracker? Is that an upgrade or downgrade?
Oh my God! I already told you how I feel about Keiko.
Give him one more tournament.
It's a multiple choice: upgrade or downgrade.
He doesn't even know Spanish, bro. You gotta. He can't even ask for the ball because he doesn't know how to say it. He's got to learn.
You want to crucify him before time? Give him time.
I'm asking you a specific question. Is it an upgrade or a downgrade?
It's to be determined. To be determined.
I think it's an upgrade. Vega wasn't doing shit at Chivas.
No. If it's based on talent, it's a downgrade. If it's the whole drama that comes with the locker room and off the field shit, it's an upgrade.
I'm talking about numbers. Is it an upgrade or a downgrade? Didn't this bum score against the Mighty Ducks in Canada, and you guys chromed them up too?
Hey, it can actually
against that Canadian team, the Mighty Ducks, Coach Bombay.
You can't.
Isn't that what he did?
Borrowing from Star Wars, you can't deal in absolutes. Come on.
Oh, so it's an upgrade for you guys then, right?
It's to be determined.
I told you guys how I feel about
one more tournament.
Cade Cow is Jurgen Damm with muscles that doesn't know Spanish. But I do have Danny, who's been patiently waiting. Danny, welcome to the pod. What are your thoughts on all this desmadre? 4-0 defeat, whatever's on your mind. Danny, you're on mute. But feel free to speak up when you get a sec. So I have a question for Ricardo while we're waiting for Danny to speak up. Who do you want as coach if Jimmy gets the axe?
It's so interesting listening to all the hot takes. All of you guys have different. Goes to show you how everyone watches soccer differently. A lot of people are stupid, pendejos, and some people are just plain unreasonable. And I like to think I'm level-headed. I always said Jimmy was a fucking bum. I seen him coach at 2 different places. He never even got close to making. He's not a good coach. You guys hype up these amateur tournaments like they're the fucking Olympics or something. If you want to say Olympics, not even Olympics. That's like that's all youth players and like three over 23 players, right? So I don't even count that shit. Jimmy's a fucking bum. He has Mr. Miyagi whispering in his ear. He doesn't know what the fuck he's doing. And honestly, I hear you guys mention Bielsa, knowing knowing everything that you guys know, watching the league. You guys host a damn Liga MX podcast. Do you guys actually believe Bielsa was going to come to Mexico and do anything? What's the
Yes.
what were you guys
Yes,
expecting? A Copa, winning a Copa? He would have the same problems.
but
He would get
No,
But
crucified.
he would make
Bielsa knows how to fucking
he
work
would
with
make
you.
fundamental
no, the
changes
team would get in their
to
shit for
the
shit.
to the whole organization. You know, he would be going crazy with the
Yeah.
scouting and having
No,
control over the
And
youth.
then he
the team would be
after a
competitive.
season.
Look
That's
what
his goal.
look
The
what he
team
did
would
with
have been
Chile.
very
Chile was
no.
fucking dead.
And
Chile was dead in the water.
Chile has better players than
Yeah,
Mexico.
but he fucking went development. That's what
Uruguay
he could
has
do.
better players than Mexico.
And one of the things what Bielsa knows how to work from the bottom. He knows how to fucking get fucking water from rocks.
Dude, look what he did with
He
Leeds
really
United.
does.
You
Like,
don't
for
think he can do
instance,
that at Mexico?
he
Leeds
kept
is
an amateur
relegated.
player.
Who else you want to talk about? Lazio? They're
And he's
irrelevant.
And he's
So he
playing.
kept
Irrelevant.
he kept
was-
this
he
guy
was-
named Luciano tonight, who is playing in the amateur league in Uruguay, and so he called him up. So
Yeah.
you know,
A country,
but he was
country
known.
so
He
rich
was
in
known
soccer
already.
is you guys are
That
really
guy was
comparing
known, like the
the
Luciano
Mexican
guy.
talent pool to the Uruguay. Is that what you're doing?
I'm saying that he works from the bottom up, and he's very demanding. He has a history of being all or nothing. Either you're with him all the way and you let him do his thing, or
Exactly.
or he's gone. And
he
that's
has
why,
a history of quitting too and not finishing
Yeah.
projects.
because because like at Marseille, for instance, they lied to him straight up, and he's like, "All right, I'm out." And that's why I don't think he was
What
ever
about
a
in
serious
Lille?
candidate because in Lille
And
I think
Lazio.
in Lazio, I don't remember that.
He quit.
But at Lille,
he quit. He's a
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
quitter too.
Well,
He quit
He
in
does
America
quit.
too.
He quit on Naples.
there was
and he what's it called?
there was a
He lost the locker room at
contingency in his
Bilbao when he was
contract.
over there.
There was a contingency
Yeah,
in his
so he's
contract.
very
They were like,
demanding.
hey, like I want money for these players, and they didn't fulfill that side, so he left.
But come on,
Yeah, that's what
Ricardo,
happened at
it
Lille.
was
He
He
wouldn't have
between
done
Marseille.
shit. He
Ricardo,
wouldn't
it
have
was,
done
it
shit
was
at
between
Mexico
him
either.
and fucking Diego Coca. Come on, it's a fucking no-brainer. The guy, yo siempre lo he dicho, los que manejan el fútbol mexicano lo manejan con las pinches patas. It was a fucking no-brainer bringing Bielsa, but fucking un grupito
never
quiso
gonna
meter su
happen.
pinche cuchara.
It was never going to
So
happen
who
because
put
the
Jimmy
Pacto de
then?
Caballeros
If that's the case,
would
who
never
put
allow
Jimmy?
it. Well, the same guys that would deny Bielsa, and that's because
Your
he's
fucking
a
your boss Oscarraga.
He did all that. He hired
know what?
Coca, fired Coca, interviewed Bielsa, he did all that by himself.
They
No
never
other
interviewed
team had any
Bielsa.
input.
They never.
It was always-
They never.
It was always believed that it was the Televisa people who fired Coca and wanted him out.
Yeah,
because
your boy
he was,
Oscarraga.
I think Grupo Orlegui or Caliente, one of the two.
Yes.
Orlegui put in Coca.
Yeah, so Televisa was never going to have that, and they kind of rule the FMF with an iron fist, kind of Game of Thrones like. But and that's why Almada's been ignored or just denied the opportunity. But Bielsa is never going to happen because they like to control the call-ups, they like to control where Mexico plays, and Bielsa wouldn't have had any of that.
But I wouldn't blame Televisa up front because I don't really know exactly how it happened, but Orlegui ended up having like the first dibs on the direction of the national team after the World Cup, and then they're the ones that did this whole commission of experts and then all this bullshit, and they appointed their own guy, and I think and then I do think they were set up to fail just to wrestle control away from him, and then they put their own dude.
That's
That's
what it seems like. That's what it
I
seems
totally
like.
agree. And for all of Ricardo's criticism of Jaime, he's a títere of Televisa, and therefore America, and what's it called?
The America
shit
big
on
red
him
button
all you want.
So it wasn't the players quitting against USA and all that going on. None of that contributed to that decision being made.
I thought the tactics were horribly wrong, and
that's a bullshit. Like, hey, I don't want to be a dick, but that's a bullshit excuse, man. Mexico players. I already gave you 3 examples of 3 well-known coaches that shit on Mexico players, and it's true. They're tactically ignorant. They're stupid. They don't know what they fall apart on the pitch. You can't be expecting them to play like freaking Germany or Pep's Barcelona and be tactically disciplined. That's not them. It's never been like that. That's a bullshit excuse, man.
That's why you need a strong shepherd at the helm, captain at the helm to teach them. And
you need
Jimmy's
a La
definitely
Volpe.
not that guy.
You need a La Volpe.
La Volpe is the only example.
Exactly. That's
He wouldn't work right now. He's not going to get hired as a coach as Mexico's coach.
You need a
That's the
fucking
only
strong
example
arm.
you could give me of a
he's been
guy
at the
having
game for like 15,
guys in line
20
like
years.
that.
A strong arm
he's
that's
too
gonna be
outdated.
fucking technically sound.
Let's be honest. You guys just want that bum. What's his name?
Aguirre?
Almeida. You want that guy to wear the Chivas jersey out there.
Ricardo, what would you think?
That guy
Ricardo,
has
what
the
would you
same
think?
number of trophies as Jose Guadalupe Cruz, and you guys put him on a fucking. It's disgusting, man.
Ricardo, what do you think about Aguirre? Ricardo, what do you think about Aguirre?
Jose Guadalupe Cruz is everyone joke make.
Bro, we're talking about
he's the laughing
Almada,
stock
not
of Mexico.
Almeida, dude. Almada.
No, I'm not. I know the difference, but I know you guys want that guy too.
Why not? Siempre será mi pastor.
He can't be worse than Jimmy. So
será mi pastor para siempre.
Titles as Jose Guadalupe Cruz, Profe Cruz.
Hey,
Jesus, man.
He was the architect of Chivas' last golden age.
Gold. If that's a golden age, America is living in its fucking Roman Empire. The Fourth Reich.
Honestly, the hubris of these America fans is astounding to me. Like, that was like the worst final I ever watched. I was like, oh man, I wasted my time with that shitty final that we all watched.
What do you think about the Madrid final? Was that a breath of fresh air to watch?
I mean, in comparison to the America one,
football doesn't always look good, buddy.
I mean, yeah, that's true, but I mean, like, if you're winning a title,
didn't you guys park the fucking bus against Tigres in the last final?
Well, you don't even know me
at home, you choked and swallowed against them a 2-0 lead. Didn't you guys do that?
Always gotta bring up Chivas, bro.
Oh, you guys are always bringing up America. It's tit for tat, man. I'll give you guys what you want.
We've been on the pod for 2 hours and we haven't even talked about the Siboldi scandal, bro. That shit's crazy. This dude was.
You know what's really crazy about that, Jaime?
What's that?
He's being accused of throwing a final. They're bringing up his past. They're mentioning how he threw the game against Pumas. He had that astounding 4-0 lead, and miraculously he lost 4-0 at the COVID year when they lost against Pumas.
Yep.
And then they accused him of throwing of sharing info to Monterrey and losing that semifinal, and also losing the final against America. You know what's crazy about all that?
And wait, you forgot one accusation.
He threw all those finals away, but against Chivas, you guys suck so much that he won anyways. He threw it and he won that anyways. That's just crazy. Even when he threw the game, you guys couldn't win.
Bro, don't you know we're broke right now? We're going through a divorce, man. We have no money. Amaury has no money. He wasn't going to write a check for Siboldi. And we didn't have someone to give up the goods, like Marcelo's sister. We never stood a chance, is what I'm saying. Why is everybody on mute? Uh-oh. Are we having app issues again?
We're just listening.
Oh, okay.
No, we're just listening attentively.
Yeah, no. I know, it's crazy to hear all this accusations about Robert Siboldi, and how things are starting to, chase the money and see where all the coincidences line up. But I don't know. I just think it's Mexican media being Mexican media and throwing shit on the wall and see what sticks. But there's no way Marcelo is getting playing time.
I'm in the dark.
Because he gave up his sister.
Did he smash Marcelo's sister? Is that the rumor?
That's the rumor.
Yes, it is.
Isn't she like 18 or 19? Like I don't
Like
know, male
22,
date
I think.
almost. Oh, okay, so
They
she's an
said if
adult.
there's grass in the field, you could play.
That's horrible. Nah, it's just like I said, it's Mexican media be Mexican media. I don't know how much corruption there is, but it is shocking to see his dismissal. I think he was doing great at Tigres.
Wait, and is the Pauno thing true, or is that just more rumors?
That's probably just some more rumors. How crazy would it be for Paunovic to return to Mexico and then coach the team that defeated him in the final? I don't think he would do that.
Yeah,
Another
and
quitter.
I don't think he seems a bit defensive. I don't. I always felt team like Tigres, like even someone like Almeida would be a better fit, more tech oriented coach. Definitely have the players. Um, yeah, it's kind of messed up all these rumors coming out, and then it's just been meme central.
I'd hire Profe Cruz over him any day.
What was he even been doing? Profe Cruz is
The same thing that
this
bum's
at the
been doing.
retirement
Nothing.
home. What is he?
He's been sharing pics with the same number of trophies he has.
Oh man. Well, boys, I'm ready to wrap up tonight's episode, but before we all go, I want to thank you all for your energy, and of course, I want to have you guys have your closing thoughts, maybe predictions for Mexico's chances at Copa America. Who wants to go first?
All right,
I'll go first.
I want to see the person. I want to. We're just. All right, yeah, you go.
No,
Go first.
go for it, Joe. Go for it.
Oh, I really don't want. I want to see what happens with Brazil first before I make my predictions. I need to see how if the team's able to bounce back.
Albert, what you got for us?
You know what? I don't know. I think I think it's gonna be a long long 2 weeks for three, and I don't know. I'll, I I think they have enough to at least survive the first round as a second place, but I don't know. It's contrary to what I was feeling in October after the Germany game, it's a total. Back then, I was full of hope and thinking that Lozano had everything under control, and now I don't know. If they miss out on the second round, it wouldn't surprise me. And then again, if they make it past the first round, uh, I don't think they'll make it past cuartos. I mean, it's just the talent just not it's not there. Unless Jimenez is a big breakout tournament a la Luis Hernandez, but who knows.
Sorry, Joel. I keep trying to add you back on, and it keeps saying error. Who's next? Who wants to get their closing thoughts in?
I will. So, you guys gotta remember this Copa America, not Copa Oro. You guys sound like what Hondurans sound before Copa Oro, talking about their chances and all that. Everyone knows it's gonna be Mexico, USA in the final. Same thing with Copa America. Everyone knows it's gonna be Brazil, Argentina. Like Mexico's not gonna make the final. They're not gonna make the semis. It's gonna come down to if they get eliminated in the group stage and they use Joel's favorite word, fracaso, or they get eliminated in quarterfinals and play really good but still lose. So maybe shit's not that bad. Nah, it's still bad. But one thing I will say, Mexico's favor, hey, you got to make that generational change sooner or later. They fucked up by waiting until a Copa America to make that generational
Shots.
change. They fucked up by making that generational change right before a World Cup. So, como dicen en español, alguien tiene que pagar los platos rotos. Somebody got to pay for them broken plates, man, that China silverware. And right now, the ones que les toca eso is Santi, Tala, whoever. Like all these younger guys, it's their turn to pay the price. And Jimmy, too, it's his turn to pay the price. because FMF decided to hang on to certain players way too long. But yeah, I'm more interested to see if Argentina wins it because it's being hosted in Miami, or if Vinny and all those other guys finally wake up with Brazil because they do great in Europe, but with Brazil they play like shit. But Mexico, the farthest they'll make it is quarterfinals. But I think it's gonna be like group stage.
For sure. You definitely had some good points there, Habibi, especially around the generational change and someone's got to pay the price. And unfortunately, some of these players who are having meteoric rises like Santi are gonna have to gonna have to ride the short bus for a little while things get onto bigger pastures. Who's next?
I'll go next if I may, and I just want to. I'm a little more optimistic because I think the back line tonight was really green. Garcia. I think that was his first time playing for Mexico, and then you have Guzman and Orozco, who are greenhorns as well, with a little more experience than Garcia. But with a back line of Vasquez, Montes, and maybe Israel Reyes at right back, I think we're going to be a lot more defensively sound. I really don't trust Arteaga at left back, but we're looking kind of thin there, and we also do like to attack through the wings, so he might be good with that against someone like Venezuela or Ecuador, who aren't as attack minded, or like who are not as top heavy as Uruguay, who is my favorite to win the tournament. I think they're the most in form, and they smoked us today without two of their best players in Araujo for Barcelona and Fede Valverde, who plays for Real Madrid. So I think we're going to get out of the group stage. At least I hope so. I don't think things are as bad as today's showed, because like I said, it is an experimental lineup. But I don't think we're all that great. And if we can finish first, wonderful. That's definitely in the cards. We can do that in the group that we're in. But it is incredible. It is a lot more likely that we finish second or don't get out of the group at all. And if we finish second, then we have to face Argentina, and they are our coco, our kryptonite, and we will probably lose like we always do to them. And
yeah,
hopefully that doesn't happen. And so yeah, those are my my finishing thoughts. Thanks for having me, everyone.
Yeah, man.
I really appreciate the time, and I love listening to the show. Even Ricardo, especially I especially love listening to Ricardo.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm glad he's
yeah.
alive. Yeah, thank you, Rifalo, for coming, and definitely don't be a stranger. Come back, man. We always like hear new voices, and people that are more IQ and less emotional. Sometimes when you
baby.
Yeah. Listening to Ricardo and I forgot who else were arguing. I was like, it sounds like my parents are getting divorced. It was getting heated. Anyways, yeah, that was all I had to say. So thanks.
Hey, Ricardo, you're up.
Once your team wins the bicampeonato, you just look at things differently. You get like Spidey sense. Like whenever I hear you guys talk about soccer, I just can't help but to poke out the holes in your argument, the loopholes around everything you guys say. I mean, I'm coming from a fucking winner's perspective, man, and you guys just come with the excuses, and it makes me fucking sick to my stomach, honestly.
El único que sabe de fútbol aquí eres tú.
Like that bum said, that quitter said, esto es fútbol. I seen on Picante that they showed that fucking quitter, his monologue about how all the wonderful things he did, and I found it very awkward and disturbing the way he said Chivas. He said Shiba. You guys didn't catch that? He didn't say Chivas. He said Chiba. He said it like that. I was like, take your bum ass to Saudi Arabia, man. You fucking quitter. I just can't. I don't understand why you guys just don't hold your team to a higher standard, supposedly. being a supposed big team. Well, in regards to and another thing, if you have a loser ass team in Mexico or in any part of the world, and you root for like a Madrid or a Barcelona or any teams known like that, you're a fucking cerote and you're disgusting, man. I wouldn't associate with. I personally wouldn't associate with you in any walks of life. I'd spit in your fucking direction. And if the boot fits, the boot fits. And anyways, regarding Mexico, I always stick to my gun. It's crazy how fucking right I am all the time on this podcast, man. Jimmy's a fucking bum. He never deserved the job. The players quit on him. But if I had a hot take in regards to that, who the next coach, because he is going to get his shit pushed in by Brazil. I predict a 3-0. He's going to make a fool out of himself at Copa America. Ecuador's going to have their way with them. They might tie against Venezuela because those guys might show up hungry or something, you know? But even though they got like Rondon and players a little bit higher caliber than that, in my opinion. But I think Aguirre's the play the table is set up for him to just come in and just do his thing for the be the bum ass coach we all know he is, the bombero, like one of you guys said, to the 2026 World Cup. And I think that's gonna be I think he's the guy, and it's for whatever reason people rate him. He's never won shit, but people rate him, and that's just my take on that. And one last thing, in regards to the fucking disgusting, pitiful, diabetic, disenfranchised Cruz Azul fans, the Chemos.
Yes.
The stage, the spotlight was set. The stage was set. The stars aligned. The planets were revolving in the same motion. It was 2013 all over again. It was even fucking raining.
It even rained. It even rained.
It even rained like that day. The same score, 1-1. No. Last time it was 1-0 them, but this time it was 1-1, and they couldn't fucking put it in. They choked. They played like in the first leg. They played like fucking cowards.
Yeah.
And the second leg, they were scared to win. Why doesn't anyone say it? They were scared to win, and that was a fucking PK. And if you don't believe it, you're fucking biased and you're a loser. And America is the best team in the world. You guys have a good night.
Drop the mic. Ricardo, glad you're back. We were concerned, but glad you're back on the podcast. Ron, are you still there? I know. Yeah, he is.
I'm here.
Closing thoughts, Ron.
I'm not optimistic at all. I think we've hit a rut and we can't get out. And it's, and no matter how much, word salads the executives give its fans, it's pointless. It's, because you can say what you want. You can say, hey, that we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We're going to lower, the foreign, from 7 to 8 to 7 or whatever, I just think that everything is at a fundamental, like at an administrative and operational level. Everything that the Federation is doing is not helping, and I don't see a way out. Producing more players, selling more players to Europe. I don't, I think enough time has passed. Enough cycles have passed to come to the conclusion that sending more players to Europe has not improved, the league. And it makes me I'm more convinced, now than ever, that that the national team or the league, having a strong league is more important than selling players abroad. I'm convinced now because I think, like I said, we've, the 2010, 2014, 2018. So we basically have gone through 4 cycles now because it was after the 26, the '06 World Cup in Germany. That's when you started to see more players, you know, jump the pond, right? You had Osorio, you had Pardo, you had Salcido, you had Massa Rodriguez, you Kikín Fonseca. You started to have more and more players in Europe, and then and again, I'm thinking it's like shit. Okay, well, I mean, it's nice. It's nice to see that on the starting lineup. They're playing in Porto, they're playing here, they're playing there, but I just, I just don't see a way out. I really don't, and I don't see Mexico. I don't see them advancing, especially I don't see them. I think it's going to be another three and out, and what's that?
I said, damn. Yeah, I think so too.
I think it's going to be another three and out. I think they're going to panic. I think they're going to try to bring in another coach, and they're going to basically they're going to try to patch things up. But
The cycle repeats itself.
Yep.
Yeah. Danny.
And yeah.
Last but not least, Danny. I know he's been patiently waiting.
Sorry about that. I went to the bar and got really fucked up. But I just want to say
yes.
Yes. So I just watched the second half, but essentially it's one of those things where what do you expect? Mexico's like a fifth world country, dude. You don't even fucking drink the tap water, that shit's like a shithole. So it's one of those things what else do you expect from them as a team? You make it seem like we're fucking like Argentina or Brazil, dude. We got fucking talent, dude. And it's one of those things I mentioned earlier, there was a late generational change, which is gonna, of course, bite us in the ass this tournament, of course. And it's one of those things where it's gonna take time, and it does seem that we may fire our coach, but of course, who's gonna replace them? And it's just a cycle. I mean, it's already been mentioned before, and it's one of those things where it seems like there just isn't an answer in terms of having time for coaches and getting the right generational changes. It's tough, but I think it was a good experience, at least for the players that played in this match against Uruguay. They got the shit pushed in, and they should they should experience the real world, because Liga MX is different compared to the real world. It's a bubble essentially, so they should understand. And like it was mentioned earlier as well, it's not the Copa Oro. It's Copa America. This is the Americas, not the fucking North America. So it's something that they should take in consideration when playing when they're hosting the World Cup. Which I mean, that's another subject. But Copa America, yeah, I don't think they're going to do well. I mean, they got fucking kids playing, well, which is great, but they're not going to make it. They're not going to go far because they don't have essentially veterans to kind of show them the way. The shift was hella sudden, which I appreciate, but it was way too late, unfortunately.
For sure. Thank you, Danny, for joining us. Everybody, I love the energy tonight. It was quite entertaining. Quick public service announcement on June 9th, Sunday. We'll be on the sidelines covering Leyendas de Chivas versus the Leyendas de America over here in San Jose, PayPal Park. So if you guys are in the Bay Area, don't know what to get your dad, just take him to the game. It should be a good one. I'm sure even at their age, they still have more fire in their loins than the current guys.
Tienen más aguantation.
Yeah, exactly. Predictions for Copa America. I think Mexico will win, tie, and draw a game. I'm sorry, they'll lose, win, and get a draw. And not in the way that you guys think. Because they do have Jamaica, Venezuela, and Ecuador. I don't know which one of those games they're going to lose, which one of those games they're going to draw. and which one of those games they're going to win, but that's just my predictions. I don't know if it'll be suffice to get past the group stage, but I do say that Jimmy, unless some miracle happens on Saturday, I really don't think he will be the coach for the World Cup. I think we're going to do what we always do, panic and call in someone at the last minute to get us into the World Cup with a little bit more experience, confidence, stability, what have you, and the cycle repeats itself. But unfortunately, this is going to be our only real test before the World Cup is Copa America. We don't have to qualify for the World Cup. We already did. And I don't know what they have in store next year, an expanded Copa Oro or a Confed Cup. I'm not sure. But unfortunately, this will be our only true test between now and 2026. And I don't think this team is ready for it. But whatever happens, just know that Cantina MX will be there for you guys post-game, after the game, what have you. We always broadcast on Twitter Spaces and YouTube Live, so make sure to catch us on the next one, and hope everyone has a fantastic night. Take care. YouTube, thank you guys for joining us.